This video is intended purely to communicate information in accordance with the right of free speech.
Any advice given is a suggestion, and anyone seeking such advice should consult a competent professional.
All statements made in this video are my own honest opinion, and they do not represent any other person or body. As such, sharing matters covered in this video is in public interest. Hi, fancy meeting you here in this little old place. I'm Tish. Why the dramatic pause? And this is Echo Echo. Hello. Let's do a quick unboxing before we start. I've got Crybaby. Oh, I got a new one as well yesterday. This is the tall Crybaby, and it's a clown, and so I'm going to call it Val. And if I get doubles of this ever, I'll send one to Val. She's so cute. The accessories first. Ooh. Oh. So we've got Keep Go Go, Keep Go Go, and a tortoise. And even the little animals have tears. They're terribly cute. Let's have a look at the sticker. Keep Go Go. Keep Go Go. Look, she's got a little broken leg. Come on. Let's see what she looks like. Oh my God. I love them so much. I love them so. These are my new children. These are my new children. I no longer have dogs. These are my children. So she holds the sign and she's got the little tortoise. I gotta say, the signs and the bits and pieces don't stay in as well as I would like. We got a Labubu as well. It is from this series. I've already got one of these. The one that I got is the little dude, and he's holding like so dandelion seeds, yeah, because he's holding a dandelion thing. Ooh. This is gonna be fun. This one. It's a tulip. Oh my God, that's gonna be cute. That is different. It's a whole thing. I love it. Don't know. Ah, that's amazing. Yeah, I was driving home yesterday. That's my little driving home treat. And I was like, ooh, serotonin, hello. Need to be careful about that. And then I bought more today. Shut up, Tish. Shut up, brain. All right, let's do it. We are looking at part two. We're doing part two of the top Amare lady. And her name is Kenley. Kenley. And she has a husband called Andreas Mendoza, who is, in fact, a Latino man. And she has a daughter called, with an, oh, I can't remember her name, but it's Latino sounding as well. And she's MAGA. And she thinks that they're only going after criminals. Although there seems like there could be a bit of a fracture in the MAGA people because they do not want to go to war. We shall see. So, Kenley was the top of Kiani, and then Amare acquired Kiani and got, dissolved into it, and Kenley is the top rep there. I believe this has something to do with millennials. How to recruit millennials or something like that. Oh, I love that. The folder that I was referring to for for the last video is called Sex Pest MAGA. So speaking of that, if you'd like to watch that video, I hopefully will remember to put something in the cards so that you can. Just a reminder, she loves MAGA, and in that video I did play a little game that's almost like, who out of the MAGA people would you let babysit your daughter based on their sexual assault allegations and convictions and things? Yeah. And yeah, I think it's really hypocritical because she says she's a Christian, blah, 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 blah. Where is this video?
Someone has already done and is already doing what you want to do. And no, they didn't fall into a rich family to do so. They were not born lucky. You know you can be more. You can have more, do more, and be more. You know this. You wouldn't be listening otherwise.
Let me tell you how I got here. I was like, ooh.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Millennial Market Talk. This is your host, Mark Jones, and thanks for tuning in. Today, we have special guests with us. We have Andres and Kenley Mendoza. How you guys doing today?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah, good.
I hope they don't move around too much because the daughter is in this. Why would you bring your daughter to this? Weird. What's with this set? Somebody edited this. What's with the... Hang on.
Awesome.
What's up? What's that thing? That's like a $2, that's a thing that you get from the $2 store. And you get it for a party and it breaks before the end of the night. And then, or if it doesn't break, you put it in the dress up thing, Let's analyze the set. Backwards hat, collared shirt, vest. Interesting.
You guys, there's a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about, but before we get into that, there was a little something that I did the previous episode that I think was pretty freaking funny, and also enlightening about who we are, being that we are millennials or on the cusp of millennials. So we're gonna play a little game. Okay?
I like games.
You ready?
I guess so.
I'm gonna ask you guys 10 millennial-specific questions, and let's see how many of these you get right out of 10. Okay? We'll start with number one. Number one, which award show did Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake wear their infamous, iconic denim matching outfits? And it's multiple choice. Was it the VMAs? Was it the Grammys? Or was it American Music Awards?
I think
VMAs, if I
I
had
think
to
it was the
guess.
VMAs, yeah.
Okay, you guys would be wrong.
No.
It's the American Music Awards. I did not get that correct, but Kristen, my wife, did. So here's number two. Who was the host of MTV's Punk'd?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ding, ding, ding. There's one correct. Let's see. Moving on to number three. Where would you find the trademark TY with a little heart above it?
On the tights, or what are they called? Those
No,
Beanie
Beanie
Babies.
Babies.
Yeah.
Boom! Nailed it. All right, so moving into number four.
She has a huge
That's pretty
collection of
good.
Beanie Babies.
I
by the
don't
way.
think anybody did. I mean, everybody had a collection, right?
I'm collecting.
Me.
I'm hoping that in the next 10 years they'll make me millions.
There you go.
We'll
Did you
see.
take them out of the box?
Yeah. But the tag's still on.
Okay.
I was on mute. What do you need to cash in your Beanie Baby collection for, Kenley? You're very rich because you're the top at Amare. What the fuck would you need a Beanie Baby collection? Like, as if. But, it just makes her seem like, oh, I'm so down to earth. P.S. Enjoy the speaking that we hear from her now, because it doesn't last. And I apologize for the rest of it. I'm going to put mansplaining in as a trigger warning.
You'd be surprised at things that they have these days to clean that kind of stuff, I would imagine. All right, so keep on rolling. Number four, what movie was The Talk Boy Deluxe popular from? And it can be multiple choice. Was it A, Free Willy, B, Harriet the Spy, C, Home Alone, D, Richie Rich?
Richie Rich.
I have no clue. The Talk Boy, that was that little Walkman looking thing that had the microphone out of it.
Home Alone?
It was Home Alone. It was Home Alone. So they 50-50. So let's keep rolling. Number five. From what cartoon show is the quote from? This following quote. Move it, football head.
Hey Arnold.
Nailed it. Wow. So we're going to find at the end that Andres is actually more millennial than the millennial.
Probably.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. Number six. Most controversial talk show with the bouncer named Steve.
Joe Springer Show.
He's killing it. He's correct. That is correct.
We don't have one station.
I was going to say AFN.
AFN station.
That's it. Okay. Let's see here. So number seven. You may not get this, but who knows? Name two Ernest movies.
Ernest goes to camp, and Ernest goes to.
School.
No.
What's the other one?
Come on. You're on the right track.
Mm.
I watched all of them, unfortunately, fortunately.
I think I watched two of them.
How about Ernest Goes to Jail? Ernest Scared Stupid?
Those are
I
not
have
ringing a bell.
never heard of that ever.
Okay, so let's move on. Number eight. How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
How many licks does it take to get to that Tootsie Roll center?
Oh my God, this should be engraved in my subconscious
You would
mind.
think, right?
18?
18. 18. How about you? How about one, a two,
Two,
a three,
No, there you
a
go.
three. The owl.
18. Where did you get 18 from?
I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Number eight. No, we just did that one. So number nine. Nitro, Laser, Hawk, Diamond, Blaze. We're all
Gladiators, are you ready?
American
Gladiators,
Gladiators. Okay, so we're working at about 50-50 right now. We got one more question.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. We got millennial, non-millennial, but the non-millennial is actually the one getting all these right. Number 10. The average millennial makes more or less than their parents did.
Way less.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct. You know how much less?
30 to 40,000 less.
It's in percentages. The research I did, but it's actually 20% less. That's a lot.
Wow. Not you guys though, because you're fucking rich. because you're involved in a scam, and the husband saying all these words, he's involved in a crypto scam. Cute, isn't it? Millennials. It's so cute. Love this topic. Woo.
That's a lot. That being the 10th and final question, I'd say that you got about a 60% millennial
Pass.
rate.
That's a passer.
It's a D minus ish. So, piggybacking on that, us being depicted as making less than our parents did by 20%. I mean, do you think there's truth to that? Number one. And
Is there truth to it? Is this like that kind of seems like a true question? Like it wasn't a feeling, you know? And also, uh, the cost of living has gone up. The American dollar is shit. Their parents, millennial parents, probably had the same minimum wage as the current people do, $7, which is it's just insanity that no politician in America has run on raising the minimum wage because it would be so popular. Um oh, not with the bosses though, sorry. It'd be popular with workers. And guess what? There's more workers. So that's why you have to convince the workers, if you can get them to be racist and think that immigrants are the reason why their minimum wage hasn't gone up, yeah, that's great. But it's not their fucking fault.
why do you think that is? Let's just open it up.
Yeah, because the system that
Okay.
our parents grew up in was totally different. You know, you had the industrial age. Where
Yeah.
You went to school. You got a good job.
Yep.
The person who made the best grades got the best job.
Yep.
The industrial age, you don't mean the Industrial Revolution, do you? Because that was in the late 1800s, my dude. Your parents? No. And I think he must be, so he must be Gen X. So he's obviously a little bit older. No, my parents that didn't happen to them. They drove cars. And yeah, capitalism was still cooking along, dude. Why am I calling him dude so much?
And then you worked that job forever,
Right.
right? And that job took care of you. We don't live in the industrial age anymore. We went from the connection age, through everything to now to the connection age, and it's a totally different ballgame.
What is the connection age? I mean, I realized last part one of this that Kenley's not very smart, but starting to happen that I'm realizing he's not very. What's a connection age? That's not a thing. Interesting accent you have there too, Andreas. I know that I think his dad was in the army because we saw that picture and they were stationed in Germany. Interesting accent. Do you think an ICE agent would tell the difference? Do you think an ICE agent would be okay with you going free because you show them a picture of your blonde wife? We'll see.
Running on the same system, so therefore you have different results.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And it takes me back to the philosophy of go to school, make good grades, get a good job, live a good life, right?
You wouldn't challenge any of that bullshit? What are you fucking talking about? Industrial age and then the connection age. Okay. Yeah. You know what? A lot of people say go to school, get good grades, and then go get a job. Yep. What's so wrong with that? Is that not working anymore? Because I was trying to make the people in one of my classes last term appreciate having education. So I talked about Gaza because there are children who are having school in tents, and those tents are getting bombed, and they keep coming back because they want to learn. Like places you would think are developing have ridiculously high literacy levels because they want to be better. And like they're just a lot more ambitious than so-called developed nations. Cuba has a high literacy rate. Palestine did as well. And yeah, so I wanted my students to think about, everything they are going through, and they still want to go to school. And to appreciate what they had, a full belly, they're not getting killed. And I looked at some statistics because I wanted them to appreciate that people who have a higher level of education generally get paid more. And another one of that also is people in unions generally get paid more too, and that's in America as well. And that's across the board. It isn't just whiteys like myself. So interesting. Let's hear them shit on education. Love it. That's a say MAGA all the way. Woo!
And that you're correct. That's not the case these days. What we're finding is that most individuals that go to college end up getting out not knowing what to do or not being able to get a job because they have no experience, right?
Most. Can you source a quote? Can you source that? Because, like, yeah, I went to school to be. I went to uni to be a teacher. I did prac, so teaching prac where I was I would work with a qualified teacher, and they would teach with me and watch me teach and all that sort of stuff. And then I had a meeting to get a job in the department, and you get a rating, and then you get an assignment. You get a here's where you can work. Here's your choices. So I definitely knew what I was going to do with my degree. Pretty sure also that engineers know what they're going to do with their degree. My uni, even though it was a small regional uni, had a really good engineering course where the engineers would go out on the job as well, and they got paid. As a teacher, being on prac as a teacher, no, we did not get paid. Um, but those guys got paid. It was highly sought after. A lot of people didn't go to major cities if they wanted to be an engineer because they knew that program was so good. Uh, somebody who's doing, becoming a doctor, a surgeon, lawyer, they go through so much schooling. Pretty sure they know what they're doing. Nurse practitioner, even Bestie Gus, they are doing a beautician or esthetician. Is that what Gus is doing? I think Gus is doing an esthetician course. Um, so that they can be, get this, just wait for it, an esthetician. And guess what? I have seen on Gus's Instagram. I've seen them doing esthetician stuff. Lashes, facials, etc. Who could have imagined that? And then what's the goal of this? Why would he say something like this? Like, oh, so many people just don't know what they're doing. Is he an MLM? What does he stand to gain from making you think people don't know what they're doing? And who is this for? Is it for people who aren't motivated? Is it for desperate people because you're going to offer them a little bit of hope? Interesting. We will continue.
Okay. Actually, yesterday we were talking about student loans and the amount of debt that students have these days, and it's tragic.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. Say with medical debt, and your hero, Donald Trump, has made student loans get back on the credit report, so people can't get any sort of like loans, anything like that, because of Donald Trump, because it looks bad on their credit rating. So yeah. And Joe Biden was trying to excuse a lot of that. So you're complaining about student loan debt, right? Biden was going to excuse some of it. And Trump's, I think the Supreme Court struck it down. So get fucked on that one.
Being that I'm in the mortgage business, that is one of the biggest deal killers that are out there.
Oh, he's in the mortgage business. What does that mean? Does he own houses? I wonder. Yeah, so you would know how much that can fuck up your credit. And if you're friends with these people, then you might be MAGA too. I don't know. I'm very convinced that he's probably MAGA just from the general dude bro alpha-ness of him and his decor.
I mean, your debt to income ratio 100% is being affected by the amount of student loans that are out there and the job that you get.
That bottle is in this scene too. Move the fucking water bottle. It's annoying. Anyway.
After the fact is not compensating for that. And it's sad.
It's a trap. It's a rigged game.
Yeah, talk to me about that. What do you mean?
It's a trap.
So going back to that system, that's completely by design. There's no accidents here. You know, the people that are in charge of our schooling system are in charge of our food supply.
Okay.
They're in charge of our music industry, our movie industry, our television programming industry.
Oh no, I think I was mute before, but ooh. Okay, did I say the thing about like it's a ring system? That they get education, that's what they get for the money. Sir, sounds a bit anti-Semitic, if you ask me. Is there an it's been overblown anti-Semitism? Does it exist? Yes. Does this sound like anti-Semitism? Yeah, without saying it. If you say people control things like the music industry, the television, I don't know why you said it like that, education, or either that or communists. They control the food. What are you fucking talking about? Okay, because their government. This is the government. That's who controls that shit. The FTC. I mean, billionaires control the media. This is very conspiratorial.
They're in charge of our pharmaceutical industry, and basically what they want is worker bees. That's it. I don't agree with that. You go to school, and if you have any type of critical thinking, they shut that out of you. I think it's elementary.
Yeah. What do they call it?
This man went to. I'm pretty sure he grew up in Germany. They shut out your critical thinking skills in elementary school. I'm a high school teacher. Children don't have critical thinking skills in that way just yet. I'm telling you. They're practicing it in high school. It's very, very much about like what is the urge? I am hungry, so I would like to eat. I need to pee, so I'm gonna pee. That person was mean to me. That means they hate me. Like they're not critical thinking. Like a fucking pile of shit.
Oh, yeah.
They call you
ADD.
ADD, and they want to put pharmaceuticals in you because they own that industry too, right?
Yeah, guess what, dickhead? And I don't care about this. Like he's a fucking idiot. The pharmaceutical industry. There's another industry that's bigger than that that provides similar stuff, and that's the supplement wellness industry. Actually makes more than the pharmaceutical industry. Um, yeah, I'm. There is such a thing as ADHD. There is such a thing as a neurodivergency. Fucking idiots.
So that's what they do.
Also, you want worker bees. That's what MLM is all about. It is about a queen bee, Miss Kinley, at the top of the line. Queen bee, worker bees, going all out into a pyramid shape. That's what you are. You're probably in her downline, I imagine. Or are you the upline? Wouldn't that be? Oh, I don't like Kinley, but I hope she's cucking her husband in that fucking pyramid. How does it feel to be cucked, Andreas? Yeah, you guys are the ones who want worker bees. Your side of the politics are saying, "Oh well, these tariffs, that's great. It's going to bring back industry." What industry is it going to bring back? Oh, AI industries. Oh yeah, well, hang on. You don't need humans for that. Oh, the humans are going to put screws and things. Oh yeah, how many? One for one factory? Like it all falls apart once you start picking at the seams, you know?
They put you through the schooling system to where all you do, you're like a robot. You remember and repeat.
That's right.
Remember and repeat. And the people who remember and repeat the best get the best grades.
Makes perfect
And
sense.
best grades later on turn into the best jobby jobs, right?
Yeah.
And
What? Who talks the best jobby jobs? Yeah, he's not very smart. Is that it's these people and MAGA people, especially anti-intellectual. So, are you going to be happy with your daughter getting C's I know they're probably going to homeschool, so it won't matter. But yeah, you wouldn't. I imagine that you want your children to get good grades. Guess where most of the pressure that comes from? Not from us. Comes from the parents. And the best people and like what he's saying is not true. Different people have different skills in different ways. Uh, my sister, fantastic. She's amazing. Both my sisters are amazing. Um, and she left school in grade 9. I always tell this story. I'm like, you know how like you say, oh, they're hanging around with the wrong crowd. She was the wrong crowd, and she left school in grade 9. She had, some ups and downs, but now she's the most successful one out of all of us. She's a tradesperson. She's a painter. She's very successful. So what you're saying is not true. And there's so many stories like that in Australia that we have a really big working class in Australia. Um, like I think it's so rich, not, it's ridiculous that these people are complaining about it whilst being very successful off the backs of other people. You need those dumb people. You need the school system to have failed people because that's your downline.
It's like triple whammy, because even as we're going through school, when we get home, what do? We sit in front of that box TV. That's right.
Also, I'm an arts teacher. There's no way that it's just like memory repeat back to me. No way. I teach creativity. Like you couldn't be more wrong. Yeah, television. Oh wow, love it when millennials and Gen Xers talk about how terrible TV is. Yeah, I agree. Fox News. Anybody? That's fucking terrible. Get out from sitting in front of that, Andreas and Kinley. You're getting lied to 24/7.
Back then, it was
More
definitely a
programming,
box, more
more
programming.
programming.
And then we look and we're like, man, my life sucks.
Yeah.
Man, I suck. Man, I don't have this. I don't have that. So what do you want to do? You want to keep up with the Joneses. And the minute you turn old enough to get credit and this and that, you never
blow
taught
it.
about it.
You blow it.
You're in debt up to your eyeballs. And it's
Maybe that's what happened to you, but that doesn't happen. It's upline hubris, of course, because they don't think that other people have different lives. They don't think they're like, I am the person, and everybody's life is like me, and I've conquered all my things. So I need to make sure everybody does exactly what I'm doing because I am so good at life. Like, come on. You're a salesperson for Happy Juice. Get off your fucking high horse. I don't like this guy. I didn't like her always, but I don't like him a lot.
it's a trap, because there's really no way of getting out if you're not financially educated, right? So
Oh yeah? Would you like to be financially educated about pyramid schemes? Because that's what you're doing. It's a product-based pyramid scheme because your company pays more for you to recruit than gets commissioned, right?
they do that on purpose. It's all by design. And the whole time, our food that we're intaking as well is not the best for our body to keep us in a harmonious state
And I'll agree with
and
that.
vibrating at a high frequency.
Yeah, no such thing. That's come from I was watching Julie Joe because remember maybe a month ago, Courtney was talking about how frequency, like emotions vibrate at different frequency. Well, Julie Joe also responded to that video and she's a sonographer. Frequency is her jam, baby. Why did I say it like that? And she said that's all bullshit. There's no such thing. Like it does not exist. And also, do you know why your food is so shit? Because of a disempowered FDA. And that's only getting worse under Trump. Why can you not sell your beef to Australia? Because we don't let your shitty meat in here. Okay? Like, this is all something of your making. You've made it like this. But it's like, you did the deep state. They want to take away our everything. Fuck off.
Along with the negativity and fear that's been putting into us constantly, because when you're constantly given negative fear, it's called the illusionary truth effect, right? They repeat stuff over and over again, and you start to believe it, and your body starts vibrating at real low frequencies. And when you're at low frequencies, guess what happens in your life? You attract low frequency things. You're an antenna for it.
Absolutely.
So then they got this game rigged, right? So after you go through school, and now let's say you go to college, right? You're still remembering and repeating, get the best grades. Now you get the best job, but now it's a trap because they own the financial institution that just charge you interest up the wazoo. Just so you can get the loan, just so you can get that paper, right? That says I'm educated and go work for somebody else.
Yeah, some jobs you need a college education. I don't think that's bad. I don't think it's bad that my doctors went to university. I'm fine with that. Uh, I don't think it's bad that I have an education that I'm still paying off. I don't care that I'm still paying it off, just a little bit at a time. You know, one day I'll finish paying it off. It's fine. I'm gonna put me. I've been studying like it sounds like I've been finished uni in like 20 years ago, but it's because I've studied more and I've accrued more debt. But yeah, I think it's fine for people to go to college. We need that for some things. Like fucking hell.
And the minute you say, you know what, I don't want to do this. I want to be my own boss. I want to start something. You go try and you can't, right? Because your credit's screwed because you've been looking at that box and you've been comparing your life to everything on that box and you've been buying stuff you don't need, right? Instead of investing it or putting it away like our parents.
This guy saw Fight Club and thought and didn't get it. I think I was a pick me. I'm sorry, I was a pick. I'm sorry, I was a pick me. I loved Fight Club. It changed my life, which sounds really silly, but it did because Tyler Durden said it's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. And I was engaged. I was, you know, on this track and I just lost it all. Like yeah, like, and this dude I think is Gen X because he can't be Gen Z. Um, yeah. So I'm sure he saw the Fight Club and the Fight Club, fucking hell, 1967. Fight Club and like, you know, to buy shit we don't need. Yep. True, right? But I don't think everybody has an inferiority complex like that, my friend. Some people just watch TV and go, "Ha, that was funny. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice couch." See, when like I was talking to a friend who had been recently diagnosed with depression, and he did an art exhibition about it, and it was all like a photography series, and we were having a chat at the opening, and he said to me, um, I never realized that most people have never contemplated suicide. And my brain exploded because I had not considered that either. It it was I was like, holy shit. I thought everyone must think like that. I didn't realize that people didn't think like that. So yeah, that was a real blank. Like it blew me away. And I think Andreas is doing the same here. Oh, I compare myself to everyone. Well, great. Not everybody does, you know? Okay, I'm going to pause because I need to eat dinner. And I need some nasal spray. Can you hear? Can you hear? I blocked nose. You probably can. All right.
Haven't got dinner yet, but I've been watching Erin's latest video, and Courtney Shortney is body checking. Body checking, body checking. Body checking, body checking. I need to check in on her because she's a mess. And apparently Kelsey Ray. But the mistress of MLM is always knocking at the door. Also, so Delaware. Wayne's World, anybody? We're in here in Delaware. If you know, you know. Gen X thing more than a millennial thing. Okay, yeah. So Delaware has passed a bill. It's H something something something, and they are implementing a system where what they're saying that you need to provide and this is from Erin and Julie Anderson's been reporting on it as well. Provide an income disclosure statement up front. That there's a 3-month sort of like period where you can get out easily, and that if you upfront buy stuff that you can get up to a 90% refund. Amazing. Like that's going to be good. And it is what it's in Delaware at the moment, and it could be the blueprint, you know. Okay, let's hear what these fucking people are saying. Also, I put my NAIDOC poster up. So NAIDOC week. This week's NAIDOC week is the next generation strength, vision, and legacy, and that's the winner of the image. I like it. I like it. Last year's was pretty simple, but I like that one. All right, let's keep going with these fools. I was going to swear, but I didn't. What, are you kidding me? We are only 10 minutes in.
It's told us,
Right.
They told us, but they
They didn't show
us.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man,
So that's the issue there. So then you get that job because you have nowhere else to go. And now the insurance, medical insurance, it keeps you there, right? So you work.
and every once in a while they give you a little bonus.
Oh yeah, they give you a little bonus, maybe a certificate. There you go. Of the month, if you're lucky, it's framed. Maybe you get a parking spot. You know what I mean? So they do this, and it's all a trap, and it's just a carrot dangling, and they keep you there, and you're still looking at that box. You're still trying to keep up with the Joneses, so you're still in debt, and you're drowning.
Absolutely.
You're drowning fast. So let's say you make.
Yeah, let's. Well, so surely your business at your end doesn't have those little traps to keep people in, does it? Because you're talking about the sunk cost fallacy there, Guy, and pretty sure that you have that. And they talk about like, oh, you get a little bit of a bonus. No, you get a good bonus for experience. And in America, you have to work for healthcare, like from your boss, and that does keep people in jobs. That sucks. That really sucks. I felt that I was really limited in my job because my housing was provided by where I was, and I felt like I couldn't quit because then I have to pay for rent in a real house. What am I doing now? Struggling to pay rent in a real house. I'm hoping to catch back up when I do my tax and have a little bit of a buffer. And I had a meeting yesterday, like informal meeting with the principal, who has fabulous winged eyeliner. I've never had a principal who's had amazing winged eyeliner. She's sharp. It's sharp, and she's really down to earth, and really cares. She's a union person, but she was saying we need to get you your leave balance up, and here's how we can do it. Like I've never had a boss that's talked about things like that. And a department that really cares about my well-being and asks me how I am and really supports me and values me just upfront without even doing anything. You know, like a 9 to 5 job, which I don't have because it's different as a school teacher. A 9 to 5 job isn't the devil, like these people think. It's not just about earning money as well. There's people who really like that is their social life as well. They might do a job that's fulfilling, like teaching, caring for people, a caring profession. A lot of people like doing those things. And also, there's a lot of people that we need to do those jobs. They always shit on 9 to 5s. And it's like the Enagic people saying, oh, you're working your ass off on the farm, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we don't want all the farmers to quit. We need farmers. They deserve to get paid more. Yes, absolutely. But we don't want them to quit. No, you can't sit there. It's not going to be comfortable for me. No, sit back, please. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to sit there. Okay? I'm sorry. Oh, she looks so sad. I'm going to get my pie. She spilled a bit in the oven, so I've left the oven open to clean. I don't know if I'm going to finish this tonight. It's a lot because I keep on going on a 10-hour tangent.
Get through that. Let's say you make it through their rigged game, their rigged
Also, thanks for your addition here, Kenley.
system, so that you could just be their worker bee. And now you're like, shoot, I'm finally going to retire. Well, guess what? You retire, and now you're sick because you've been eating the foods that they've been giving you. You've been stressed up to your eyeballs because you've been stressed about finances forever. So what do? They control the pharmaceuticals. They control the schools that doctors are taught.
That makes sense.
They either own or fund them, right? So the doctors are taught to remember.
That's a good point. In my opinion, I believe I own a part of the schools. Have you seen how much property taxes you pay? And out of the property taxes in Texas, I can only speak for Texas, but out of that, do you know how much is actually going towards education and the school system? It's an outrageous amount. It's a huge amount, actually.
I'd like to fact check that. If you saw me smile, then I was reading a message from Val. Just popping in here because I rambled on too long about the state budget, but basically, yes, education is the highest percentage. I was shocked and amazed. It is 39% of their budget with Medicaid, well, with healthcare being the next one down. Surprising.
because it's Texas, remember? And this came from a website called Texas Policy Research, Texas 2026 to 2027 state budget record spending missed opportunities. All right, back to it. Oh, I also think that Texas does have a voucher program, which means that parents actually have a lot of control over where their children can go. So it's not exactly what they're saying. Good. That's great. I'm going to go into a protest now. The government is not entering enterprise bargaining in good faith at the moment. So we're protesting next Tuesday. All right. I don't give a fuck if your taxes go to that. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to say what happens in schools because you don't have that's not your area of knowledge. If you were a school administrator, a leader, school leader, a teacher even.
I mean, it's huge. I'll give you an example, real example. I pay upwards of about 26 grand in property taxes. Out of that, we're paying literally $16,000 to our school, that local, I don't know, I mean, NISD, Northside Independent School District, and my kids, they don't even go to those schools.
Exactly.
Where's the money
lot,
going?
We have that lot sitting there.
You
Same
know?
thing. Over half the money is going to the education.
I don't get it. It's crazy. But that is a great kind of way to open up the show. Now let's talk about you guys. Obviously, I have you on this show for a reason. It is absolutely intended to empower.
I just had a heart attack that the whole thing didn't work because that Filmora thing just popped up. All right. I think I'm going to have to make these people faster. Also, thanks for your contribution to that conversation, Kenley. Is she only allowed to talk when on MLM things? Otherwise, she's got to shut the fuck up.
Inspire, not entitled. And I'm only bringing folks on that are shakers and movers and have talked the talk, not just walk the walk. I know you got a good talking game. I want to hear how you got to where you are. So where are you guys from?
Well, we are here from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, both of you?
Both of us, we actually are military
Kind of, sort of,
vets.
but not really.
Yeah, he's kind of been all over. We were actually both coincidentally born in Germany.
Okay, wow. How cool is that?
Yeah, both of our dads were in the Army, pretty much lifers in the Army. And other than that, though, we've both lived in San Antonio for quite some time. I've been here for about 15 years now. He's been here for quite some time. And we would definitely call San Antonio.
These two people were born in Germany. Trump's trying to get rid of birthright citizenship. You weren't even born in America. I mean, do they count the Army as that? Probably not. How interesting. How interesting. A Spanish-sounding name, born in Germany. Good luck out there, Andres. I don't think anybody deserves to get deported. I don't think humans are illegal, and I think we should have open borders. So, good luck, because I am one of our very
Home,
Good.
although we love traveling. We've got travel in our blood. And
I agree with that.
He's been everywhere, Miami for a little bit.
And you even mentioned military, correct?
Yeah, so my dad was stationed in Germany where he married my mom. My mom's German,
Okay.
just like her mom's German.
Yeah.
So we're dual citizens.
Very
actually, which is pretty neat. So I grew up in Germany. I grew up in Fort Leonard, Missouri, and then moved to San Antonio in 1995 where I went to 8th grade.
Okay.
And then, I did high school here, 1 year of college.
Okay.
Moved away to Miami as an adult in 04 and moved back in 07 because this is where friends and family.
Absolutely.
My dad's from a border town called Eagle Pass, Texas.
Eagle Pass.
Eagle Pass. And so all my family.
That's so interesting. Eagly Pass. So that's how it would be pronounced if it was Spanish. He lives in a border. He lived in a border town. I know that it might seem silly that I am going on and on about this, but these people think that their money and their status and their fervor, like their loyalty to MAGA, will save them, and it will not. You are brown. They do not. It doesn't matter if your mother is German. Your name is Andreas Mendoza. You will be deported. That's not fair. That's who you believe should be leading, and that's a medicine you're going to have to swallow. It's not Big Pharma though.
Family pretty much lives here. So this is home.
I'll tell you a real quick funny story. So Eagle Pass was the first place, and we actually named our LLC after it. But going back to my football career, my God, reminiscing, I had an interception, and boom, over the loudspeaker, Mark Jones. And that continued the entire game, and then it stuck with me continuing on, but sorry, go ahead. That was Pico Pass, Texas.
That's awesome. So imagine my mom, blonde hair, green eyes, a German lady named Heidi. Her first experience in the United States was going straight to Eagle Pass.
They probably thought she was a friend.
Yeah, it was a culture shock for my mom. But yeah, but San Antonio's home.
So the other guy's Latino as well. Interesting.
And all my experiences and all that travel and being able to live 4 years here, 4 years here, I think it had a lot to do with the mindset that I had, growing up. When I got here, my mindset sort of changed.
Okay.
I went to Holmes High School here, and
My parents graduated from Holmes.
So you are who you surround yourself with,
That's
right? You always hear
100%.
that. You're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So, I wasn't exposed to the great.
That's a stupid Jim Rohn quote that all the MLMers say. Are we really still not talking to Kenley? Jesus, she may as well not be there.
It's the things there, and I started to buying into that victim mindset that seems to be rampant in low income areas, and I did that for.
What? How fucking dare he? Again, this is his own hubris. You thought you were a victim, so you assumed everybody else thought that way. The people around you who would have been low income, I'm assuming because I don't know. I mean, his dad was in the army, so maybe he made enough money. But, low income people are generally very hardworking. They're not low income because they think they're victims. And they are the victim of systemic poverty. That's capitalism. It doesn't want them to succeed. I hate this.
So long. It was poor me. The reason why I'm not doing this is because of this. And I kept, when you point those fingers, you got 3 always pointing back at you. Yeah. And it wasn't until March 13th of 2012 that I made the decision to accept everything in my life, that I understood that my life was exactly the way it was because I've created my own reality with my thoughts, my words, and my actions and my choices. And that's whenever my life completely changed. I said, I got to get rid of the negative stuff that I've been doing. So I cut out all the negative BS, got rid of it all. And I started writing down my goals, what I want. I want to meet the woman of my dreams. What I want to be successful. But not just making money. I want to help people because that's my blueprint on being on this earth, is to provide value. The service to many leads to greatness, right? And I wanted to be great. And I knew that that's why I was here. All that other stuff that I experienced that day when I made that choice, it was, I'll just be a little real here. It was after a night of being up all night. Sure. I probably napped for like 2 hours, woke up, and I went and I stood in the mirror. And that's whenever I felt the presence.
And I think that's a great point. And you may see it as weird that you're standing in the mirror and you had this epiphany, but I think that's the most honest time that we as individuals have with ourselves, is looking in the mirror and really having a good talk. Like, hey, could you have done better today? Or maybe you could have done something a little bit further than the normal to then become extraordinary, so to speak. But going back, and this is so strange, you said March 13th?
March 13th of 2012.
That's the date that I took my test to become a mortgage loan officer.
Wow. Oh, wow.
See, there's no accidents.
Literally 30 days later, I started as a loan officer, quit my $100,000 a year job at Toyota Bernie, and here I am at 9 years later. I'm not, you said that, I went, wait a minute.
That's awesome. You had the cojones to do that, because my mentor said, don't let your $100,000 a year stop you from making $100,000 a month.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's, gosh, I'm a testament. I will tell you, when I did that, I had my wife that was just about done with her nursing and becoming a nurse. So it was, I had the risk, but it was like, okay, no matter what, I could always go back to auto finance or something like that. And it's sad that I did have that perspective, but it's true. I just never looked back, to be honest. I just did.
And that's what you got to realize. God puts us in places to where it's just stepping stones to get us where we're going.
This man just said, you have to give up the 100 grand a year to get the 100 grand a month. Who the fuck are you talking to? That is so out of reach for most people. 100 grand a year in America is a really good wage. That's crazy. And he was like, I'm taking such a big risk doing this. What the fuck? Really? And this man, oh, I cut everything negative out of my life. Everything. Well, what is that? Drinking, drugs? What do you mean? And they're like, oh, I can't believe that's the same day. Yeah, some things happen on the same day. Who gives a fuck? Right? And I think he was indicating, I looked in the mirror and I saw God or whatever, and I want to help people. You are in an MLM. You don't fucking help people. You manipulate and take advantage of people. You're disgusting, in my opinion.
And we got to soak up whatever it is, even through the dark. You got to go through the dark sometimes to appreciate the light and to understand the light.
I actually take it a step further. I don't think you can appreciate the light without knowing what the dark is like.
Amen.
Exactly. So that was huge for me. And I started writing down my goals, and I just submersed myself in personal growth and personal development, which I had no clue that that's what I was doing.
Sure.
But I was just doing it.
Self-educating.
And I wanted to meet the woman of my dreams, but I said, look, the guy I am today will never even get her attention.
Gotcha.
So I need to start becoming a better version of me every single day. And I thought all the negative and bad stuff I did in my life, because I was always a good person. I was doing bad things.
Sure.
I felt that I wouldn't be blessed for a really long time. But no, after really making that conscious decision and not just toe dipping it, you know, we leave ourselves the back door like, oh, I'm going to try to stop drinking and doing all these bad things. Instead, no, I don't do that anymore. It's a completely different language.
That's a commitment. Right? One of the biggest to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was March 13th. I met her in October 15th of that year. And the rest.
Where'd you guys meet?
We met at a CrossFit gym.
Okay, makes perfect sense.
We met in a box.
Okay, a sweat box.
I don't even know if CrossFit gyms are still called boxes or what.
I would imagine so.
But yeah, we met at a CrossFit gym, and he's got a funny story on how we met and all this. But he was basically like the fittest guy I had probably ever seen like in my life walking into the CrossFit box. And I was like, damn, this guy is really fit. Like that was basically how it started. I was in a relationship at the time. But you know, in a nutshell, we left the studio. I say studio because I'm an F45 trainer right now, and that's what I'm thinking about studio. We left the box, and I just immediately, you know, sent him a friend request on Facebook. And
slipped into his DMs
and awesome. really
so
the rest is
basically stalked
history.
me forever.
Yeah, really the rest is history. But the story is that, and he was really open and honest of who he was, you know, before March 13th. And the things that he would tell me about just what he's done and who he surrounded himself with and where he's, you know, ended up from time to time. Like he's absolutely right. I would have never looked twice.
Well, I'll tell you what, without going into too much detail, I feel as though the reason why you are able to push the boundaries, you're able to understand what your body can withstand, what your mind can withstand, is because you pushed the boundaries when you were younger. And I can say that because I am very similar. Okay.
Did you do some crimes? Did you do some drugs? That's interesting because the people you support are currently trying to, well, they say that they're after criminals, you know, even so Kilmar Abrego, that's so crazy. I say there's no coincidences. And I knew I was looking for my anti-fashy dashy, which I need to keep up with, and bring home Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, apparently there was a domestic incident at the house once, which didn't get further along. And then now they say that he was human trafficking because he was driving friends, contractors to work. And he had to flee Venezuela because of gang violence that he was being threatened with. And they said that he had to get deported and he is the criminal. He's the illegal immigrant, right? And this guy here is hinting that he might have some sort of colourful past that, from the sounds of it, could be a little bit worse than Kilmar Abrego Garcia, you know, especially if Kenley said I never would have looked at him. Interesting. Because, yeah, you know, they want to get rid of those immigrants who are bad seeds, even if they have reformed, you know. Just interesting, you know.
I was not always the best. I'll tell you right now, I've said this before, I was not always the best. I was a good person. I was a great person, always doing the right thing for people. But get in trouble, yeah, I pushed the boundaries. And I can relate with that. Being with the wrong crowd, I can relate to that all day long. I wouldn't take it back for the world.
Me neither.
I wouldn't. It makes me who I am today. And it allows me to know that when I look back at that person, I go, I'm a much better person. I feel great about that. Let's see how much more we can do and accomplish, so to speak, and how many more people we can help. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. We're finding a lot of similarities, and it's everything is right where it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Absolutely. There's no coincidence.
No, not at all. So you guys, and this is something we have not discussed on this show before. We've had realtors, brokers, developers, we've had PEO reps or VPs, directors of business development. You guys are truly your own business, and it is something that is not widely spoken about anymore, but it absolutely still works. I will compare it to a Mary Kay. I will compare it to an Amway. The things are under the umbrella of multi-level marketing, right?
Yes.
You say multi.
Does it work though, dude? Because it's a product-based pyramid scheme, which Amway has been accused of being before. And yeah, it's interesting that you haven't had people on there before, and it's not their own business. I think you'll find that Ozma, who used to be the CEO of Modere, she's the CEO of Amare, not these two people. They are salespeople. They don't have their own business.
High-level marketing. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
Yes.
dun, dun.
Listeners are like,
oh my God, it's one of those
absolutely.
things.
That's
oh
right.
my gosh.
Everybody's pressing the back button right now.
No, they're not, because they're hanging by a moment because they're like, wait a minute, what is this about? And I want.
They definitely are not doing that. Especially because of how arrogant he came across to begin with. But I'm going to guess that the sort of people who would listen to this podcast would be like, okay.
To give the true perception and perspective from you guys who are successful at it and who have also educated others to show the way, and they're also successful. I mean, it is absolutely a trickle-down effect. But what I want to kind of preface this with is
But it's not a trickle down effect. It's the opposite. It's a trickle up effect when we're talking about the money. That's the problem.
Every business out there is a trickle down effect. Every business out there is a pyramid scheme. Tell me
what?
if your boss does.
Are you fucking kidding? Every business is a pyramid scheme? Every business. Because pyramid schemes are illegal, dude. That's what we get told. But they really are. This man doesn't know anything about business. Are you kidding me? God. He must be into some shady shit. If he's so loud and proud to say that. That's my opinion.
That make more money than you. Aren't you working to accomplish the things that he has delegated to you? Pyramid, you know? Now the word
It's the way the money flows. It's the way the money flows.
scheme is where there's a big difference in what you see on American Greed or all these shows where they paint this picture versus what you guys actually do. So let's get into that. Number one, how did you get into it?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll start with that. So I was actually attracted to this industry.
Very true.
But I was actually attracted to this industry because of somebody that I previously knew that I was following on social media.
Okay.
And it's someone that I had actually previously worked with in the corporate world. And I think we can probably all relate, and everyone that's listening, that we probably have some people at our corporate jobs or people that we work with that we're civil with because we're adults.
Absolutely.
But you would never see us at a happy hour with them outside of work.
I agree.
And she was just very negative in a lot of different ways, and was just kind of working on some stuff. So wasn't that person for me, wasn't that friend for me. A couple years later, she ended up getting laid off, moved out to another area. And I noticed just on her social media that she had just completely changed. And, she was surrounding herself by incredible people.
Okay.
She was adding value all across her social media. She was reading books, she was listening to audiobooks. She was just a completely different changed person. And that's what attracted me.
Okay.
And I reached out to her and I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she ended up, sending me a video to check out, the typical thing that people, I guess, do within the industry. Sent me a video, rolled my eyes a little bit, like, oh gosh, okay, cool.
It's one of those.
It's one of those
that's
things.
exactly what people think first.
Every 100% of people think that. And I was one of them. He was one of them. We watched.
Probably not, though, because you joined. And not everybody thinks that. Most people do, thank goodness.
The video together, and then the next day we ended up in a living room to check it out again, and we ended up getting started because why not?
And I would imagine that you saw the opportunity and potential for what it was. Now, when you got into it originally, did you know what the comp and product and baselines were for it, or was it still discovery of, okay, what does this stuff do? Because in my opinion, in sales, any kind of sales, if you don't believe in your product, your service, whatever it is, you're not going to do very well, nor are you going to like it. It's just kind of a dead end street, in my opinion. So what was it that kind of got you into that?
Well, there was actually a significant story. Do you want to share about your dad and just kind of how that opened up our minds just wanting to help people through health?
Okay.
Because we are in the health industry.
Okay.
Health and wellness.
Very good.
Yeah, so everything in life happens for a reason. And back in June of 2014,
Yeah, do you want to not move the microphone around and talk into it, Kenley? I thought you were top pro. You're like, total pro at this. And you're not in health and wellness. You're a salesperson and a recruiter. And you must not have been that skeptical because you joined the next day.
my dad was actually in the beginning of 2014, my dad was diagnosed with liver cancer. And whenever somebody you love gets diagnosed with something crazy like that, you immediately want to help. Right?
Of course.
You dive into the research, you start becoming a Google doctor.
There
right?
you go.
You're a
Yep.
doctor, Google certified. And all my research just led me.
Yeah. We've seen many people die like that. Stop. You don't like education? Where did all the information come from on the internet? From somebody who was educated. And yeah, doctors have education. You don't have that. And I wish people would stop fucking doing that, especially with vaccines and things like that. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about, and you're actively harming other people with your ignorance. And I fucking hate it. And I think that there should be penalties for people who are anti-vax because unless you're immunocompromised and you can't have them, if you're allergic, that's fine. But there are diseases that were wiped out that are back because of ignorant dickheads like this.
The fact that our bodies are awesome, it was designed perfectly by our creator. We just need to give it the right stuff and our bodies can do what it's supposed to do, right? So I actually moved in with my father. I juiced him organic fruits and vegetables every single day, gave him alkaline water with minerals in it, natural oils, and from one lab to the next, which was just a period of a month.
Okay.
The results showed that his tumor had shrank from a little bit bigger than a golf ball size to pea size.
Oh, wow.
And all we did differently was add
The diet.
good quality, simple, proper nutrition, right? That's it. So I was ecstatic. Dad was ecstatic. But then the doctor did what he's taught to do in the schools that are owned or funded by the pharmaceutical companies, right? Let's get you on chemo before it spreads anywhere else. And I begged my dad, please don't do it. My dad's not going to listen to me. I'm not a doctor.
Of course.
Listen to the doctor. Within 2 weeks of being on the chemo, his kidney failed. He had 100% liver failure. So he got number 1 on the transplant list. And 4 days later, he got a new liver. He's still with us today.
Thank you.
Everything's good. Matter of fact,
Okay,
we just had breakfast earlier today.
Awesome.
Imagine that. I've heard this story about causality doesn't equal causation. What's that saying? So correlation doesn't equal causation. I imagine that was really badly timed, and I wonder if they were in an addict because you said they drank alkaline water. Your body isn't made perfect by God, but anyway, so imagine a child before they were getting their vaccine, 5 minutes before they had a seizure, and same child had their vaccine and then had a seizure 5 minutes later. Like, like it could happen at any time. And can you imagine that? What ended up saving him was a liver transplant from a doctor and a hospital and yeah. So medicine did help, or you're going to say it didn't help, even though that he had a transplant? Okay.
And he had his lab results come back, and the doctor said, your numbers are astronomical and phenomenal.
Okay.
Your kidneys, your liver, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Amen.
Yeah, because he had a liver transplant. Medicine helped him.
Which is an absolute blessing. So that's what got me on the path to where I said, okay, this is happening in my life for a reason. God's placing this in my life because this is what I want to do. Why doesn't everybody have this knowledge of just, before you go and attack your body with all this other stuff, why don't you just try good quality, simple nutrition?
Sure.
And it's not going to happen overnight. There's nothing that happens overnight.
No, you're right.
It's a process, right? Like anything.
Yeah, we've seen people die like that. Jesse Lee died doing that. Juicing, doing coffee enemas, eating whole foods. People die. Some people don't. You're not an expert.
Else. So when she first had the opportunity placed in front of her, I'm 9 years older than her, so I've been around the block a little bit longer.
Or so he'd like to think.
And I don't look at, we got some amazing products, but no, she was so fired up and lit up about it, and I saw that sparkle in her eye. In my head, I was like, oh my God, these never work. It's one of those things. And I've been to plenty because I always show up.
Gotcha.
You never know what showing up might lead to.
Of course.
So he's been in MLMs before, in other words. Okay. Oh, is this one of these things? Roll my eyes. Sure. Man, these guys are just born scammers.
I agree with
That's one of the biggest things you could ever do in life is just move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not a tree. Move. Show up.
I agree.
So I supported her.
I'm really annoyed that he used that. That's been one of my guiding principles. God, I sound like an MLM now. When I'm really stuck in something, I remind myself I am not a tree. I am not planted here. I can move if I want. So, look how condescending he is, BT Dubs. My wife Kenley, she was really into this. Look at her. It's so cute. She was really into this, into her little project. I don't like Kenley, but you would be nowhere without her. This is her. This thing is her, not you. Okay?
Which was the second best thing I ever did. Marrying her was the first one, supporting her in this business. But in my head, I still had my reserves. But the reason why I supported her instead of pour all this word vomit of negativity on her is because I knew that the negativity that I was just a direct reflection of myself. Justification. You were trying to justify why you aren't getting to the next.
Shut up. This guy sucks as a host.
Because of all of these other reasons that maybe didn't have anything to do with that yet, because you didn't know yet.
Correct. And it was my own, ignorance or lack of education on the industry is why I felt that way. And I think that's the problem. We're always wanting to help. Oh, I'm just looking out for my friend. But no.
Do you have time freedom, Kenley? Can you get a babysitter who doesn't touch the mic? Well, the babysitter doesn't have to not touch the mic. The baby does. But damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. But it was something about him just being like full of shit. Yeah, I think that's it.
You're being negative and words are powerful. You can crush their dreams like that.
Real quick, yeah.
Right?
Oh, can you? Are you going to talk like she's not fucking there? You can crush their dreams. Why are you talking like it's so bizarre that he's talking around her? Like she's there. Include her in the conversation. This is a weird podcast.
So I actually dived into it. And once I started understanding multi-level marketing, oh my God, it was like, it was like this cloud parted and the sun came. And not because of the industry, but because of the structure. Hear me out. If every profession, and it applies to most professions, but not all, but let's say every profession decided to adopt the multi-level marketing structure, we'd all be sipping lemonade in the shade after busting our butts for 5-10 years. And here's how. So me and my dad, we had a...
That's not possible. In other words, you don't understand the fucking structure. There's always got to be someone underneath you. Many people underneath you. What is your deal? What's your deal today? Why are you being so needy? Mabel and Murphy are like sitting like they're posing for an album cover. Oh, they just both got up at the same time. It's weird. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the point is, there always has to be someone underneath you. Not every business. Why would every business need to be an MLM? This guy's a fucking idiot. He's not even just dumb. He's a fucking idiot.
construction company, and we did backfill. We
Okay.
did foundations,
Okay.
flat work. But our backfill crew, we would teach the guy how to reach plans, get the projects passed and everything like that.
Understandable.
And the
Yep.
minute he learned everything, guess what he did?
Empowered somebody else to do it?
No, he took our work. He went to the guy and he got our work. He did it for cheaper. Once he learned. So if everything was set up to where I would encourage him to go get work,
Sure.
because now I get a percentage off everything he does, and I would encourage him to add value to others and teach others, because now it's a trickle effect. So I'll get a percentage off of everything he does, and I would continue to learn and train other individuals to do the exact same thing. After 5-10 years, guess what? I would have residual, reoccurring money.
You're exactly
every single month from the.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless. I can't do this forever, Minnie. I can't do this forever. You're too heavy, honey. Why can't you sit with Frida? Why can't you sit with Frida downstairs? Not downstairs. She's just under the table. She's not downstairs. We are all downstairs. She's too heavy. You're too heavy, baby. This is so dystopian, capitalist. Like, it's very Trumpy. Like, I can't just teach you something. I have to make money off of it. Like, I can't just teach you that. Yeah, that's bizarre. You just want to keep, like, you can't have any sort of relationship with people. Wow. Like, imagine if I, as a teacher, continue to get paid from my student. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird. Go away, Murphy. I'm not comfortable.
Efforts that I did for 5-10 years.
I agree. Now, taking a step back, you mentioned some industries, some businesses. I would go as far as to say is every single one, and there's a way to correlate it between the two. Mortgage industry. In my previous place of employment, there was a person above me, a person above him, and a person above him, and so forth and so on. That was all taken a piece, but where did the revenue come from? That frontline man. And at a certain point, you go, okay, how do I get these layers out of it?
It came from the customer. It didn't come from the fucking salesman. The customer bought the product. That's where the money came. I was so like furious that I hit my teeth with the mic. Yeah. It's not about that in an MLM. It's a way the money flows. You fucking cool.
Start my own layers. It's a cyclical thing in any industry that you put it in. Real estate, if you want to grow, you've got to empower, teach, and pay for those services and continue. Not every industry comes with a residual. That's, I think, a big, huge difference in I get up, I go to work, I'm building this residual, but when I stop, it stops. You guys have the ability to literally turn it off, and it's still rolling if you do a great job up front. So I want to talk about that.
That's the beautiful thing about leverage income as opposed to linear income, which is what we're taught. Write that down. We're taught. Yep. You want to make money, you go to work. You trade your time for money.
Write that down. Yeah, look, dude, when you stop working and there's no residual income, that's not residual income. It's just, yeah. You have to exploit people to get that money. That's what he's not saying. This is so deceptive.
Correct.
But the wealthy, the financially independent, they figured out a way not only to do that, but they figured out a way to earn leverage income.
That is correct.
And that's where the true power comes in. And that's where you can get what you're really after, because most people aren't financially motivated like they think they are.
Correct.
People are, they want to be time rich. That's me. I want to be time rich. I want to be with my wife and my daughter every single day of my life.
Right.
I don't want to miss any of those moments.
And not
Really? Because I've seen her at the gym a fair amount of the time without you. Also, does that child have a screen? This is going to be really annoying to edit because the child is moving around a lot. That sucks. These people are the worst.
have to change your habits.
Exactly. And you can keep all the gold, all the fancy stuff you want in the world. I'd rather have that any day of the week. And this is what this opportunity provides.
Oh, okay. So do you want to take a pay cut? Do you want to take a pay cut? Why don't you make sure that all of your downline is making enough money to live? Would you like to do that? because I think you should. But you're not going to, are you?
Us. And what I loved most about it was the people that brought me in, I can make more than them because if I have good work ethic, sure, and I have created a network that I've been building forever, didn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. And that's the problem with this generation. They want microwave success, 5-minute abs. There's no such thing as 7-minute abs.
Oh, we're having fun about being just the worst people in the entire world. Yeah, it does take a lot of time. But I thought you said you had time freedom. So does it take a lot of time or does it not?
And that's why you hear all these stories about these lottery winners that end up in a worse financial predicament than when before they hit the lottery because they skip the process.
Right.
It's the story of the bamboo tree. People don't realize this, but the bamboo tree, it takes 1 year of watering that little plant and then 2 years of watering that little plant. You don't see anything. Right. There's no foundation work. It's all foundation. It's all the roots establishing underneath. 5 years later, guess what happens within 6 weeks? Boom. It shoots up to 90 feet. Because if it would have shot up to 90 feet in year 1, guess what would have happened? It would have failed. Sure. Because the foundation wasn't there. And that's what everybody's not realizing. You need to build a foundation. There's a process to it. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with your system.
I agree 100%.
Don't fall in love with like people and your pets and stuff, not with systems and business. Yeah, it's called recruiting. Why don't you want to say that? You got to recruit. You got to recruit a lot. Also, Kinley's the one who's at the top of the business. So why have you been talking? I think she's said 3 sentences.
In the pocket and stay consistent enough. John C. Maxwell says the problem with people is they're unmotivated, right? Leaders are motivated, but motivation only lasts so long. What's going to keep you going is that you stay consistent long enough to get the results, and the results are going to motivate you.
It's just like working out. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody wants that instant result. Hey, let me get a trainer so that I can get healthier faster. Well, the trainer's going to hold you accountable, but if you don't show up, there's nobody to hold accountable.
Exactly. And speaking of accountability, we suck as human beings on being accountable to ourselves. That's why
I wouldn't say that's a generational thing. You said it right.
Yeah. Do you want to be accountable as being a scammer? Do you want to be accountable as being a MAGA and voting in Donald Trump? You're accountable to that. But you don't want to be accountable for like the suffering of your downline who probably cannot afford to live off of a wage from the MLM and struggle to pay for their own products that they have to buy. You don't want to be accountable to that, do you?
It's a human being thing, not a generational thing, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And that's why we fail as business owners. That's why most small businesses fail. Most small businesses don't last 5 years.
Right.
People don't know that. Most real estate agents don't make a dime, and they
And reason being is like,
yeah, false equivalence fallacy. They're not the same things. Those 2 things and MLMs are not the same things and are not good comparisons.
you said, the instant gratification. They want that instant success, but somebody that actually makes it does go through year 3, 4, and 5 on the upswing, knowing that I'm going to keep blood, sweat, tear in this thing until something happens. And then when it does happen, I'm still going to
they got lucky.
think that's exactly. They're an anomaly.
Oh my God, they got lucky. They got lucky. It was perfect timing for them.
They got in at the
it was
beginning.
theirs.
Yeah,
and
you're exactly
it's just a bunch of.
You did get in before a lot of people. But I'm glad she finally said something. MLM success is luck, placement, timing, and a lack of morals once you find out where your money comes from. That's what MLM success is. And repetition.
Yes, that we're programmed to say to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah, and I think that most don't understand that what we're doing, doesn't matter the industry, we found a way to make it work, to make it grow, and we'll get into that shortly, but we want it to be hard. We want that process, that journey to be something that we can actually grind our teeth on, tell a story about, fail, and then be able to educate ourselves and go, okay, we've been here before, whoa, don't step on that landmine, I've been there, let me tell you a story type situation. And again, we want it to be hard because at the end of the day, we want to be able to also share it with other people. Like, hey, this is how we did it. And it's okay to share that, in my opinion. I don't know how others feel, but I'm totally honest as far as how I got to where I am. The process is pull up a chair, let me tell you. And people don't believe it because it's like, no, that's not even, you're saying just hard work and you continue to do this over and over. Yes, absolutely. But I guess they don't fully get that. The blood, sweat, and tears. They'll say, well, LeBron James, he's freaking nature. Michael Phelps, freaking nature. No, he bled, sweat, and nothing but swimming, nothing but basketball. There's all of those things that people don't see.
They don't see behind the scenes.
They don't see it. They see.
Yeah, that's not the same as MLMs. Because you have to have a skill to be good at, like, to be a professional basketballer, professional swimmer, Olympic swimmer, and the right DNA, genetics, because Michael Phelps is built for fast swimming.
So yeah, and he trained. He's got skill and training. There's a lot more to it than that. And that's not the same thing as an MLMer. No fucking way. And Upline's hubris to say, oh, I am so much like that. That's what I'm like. Yeah, sure. This is gonna be a long video because I already recorded an hour, and I think I've recorded another hour now, and it's 9:30 p.m. and I would like to go to bed. Look, I have been going to bed earlier, but it still doesn't feel like I'm asleep before midnight. And it used to be that I would go to bed and not be asleep before like 2 a.m. So it's getting better, but still not perfect. Okay, I'll do a little bit more and I'll finish this tomorrow.
The glory that you see on social media, but is that really not necessarily the truth? I'll be honest, it's what I want you to see.
Exactly. It's an illusion. And that's why people grow up with this false feeling like this is what I need, this is how I'm going to get it. And it never happens. And that's why people are miserable, because all you got to do is stay in the pocket, trust the process.
Agree.
Right? And it's just crazy. And that's why I love doing what we do within the network marketing industry, because even people, not everybody's going to have financial success that joins,
Sure.
you know, and locks arms with us. And have we failed? Yes, we fail every day. We fail people, unfortunately, but we fail forward and we move forward.
And you keep
because
going.
It's part
That's
of the
right.
growing process. A lot of people, they fail and then, oh, that's it, I'm done. Right? So, because like you mentioned, we want to add value to others. The good book says to be a river, not a reservoir.
Yeah.
Because everything we have is not ours. It's just a gift, and we got to pass it.
Agreed.
We got to keep passing it in order for us to keep climbing that level. It's kind of a selfish reason if you look at it, but I want to bless others because I want to be blessed.
And I wanted to kind of emphasize what you just said there is, at a certain point, would it be considered selfish if your mindset changes to, I want to help as many people as I can, versus I want to make as much money as I can, but yet the same thing ends up making you more in the long run?
Correct.
Is that selfish?
Like Zig
Maybe
Ziglar
so.
says,
Yeah.
you know, help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want by default.
Yep, it is selfish. Absolutely. Because everybody knows that you're not really helping people in MLM. And everybody knows that when you do help people, i.e., position them, prop them up, motivate them, that's for you. That's for your rank. That's for your pay packet. Everybody knows that.
True.
Yeah,
It's
so-
very true.
We went from making thousands to earning our first million.
Yeah.
When we just that pivotal moment in our business to where it wasn't so much about our quick success in the beginning. You know, we each hit a 6-figure income in 4 months,
Right.
you know, within the business that we're in, each of us. And after that, you know, it's transitioning from, okay, you know, it's not about our quick success. It's not about that fast start anymore. It really never should have been.
Sure.
You know, let's really start focusing on helping the success of the other people and helping them to achieve.
Sure. Let's help them. It's not about us, even though we were getting 6-figure salaries in a month. And she mentions Fast Start, which is the biggest carnival, which is why probably in Delaware they're quaking in their boots, you know, because once that Fast Start sort of shininess runs out, people start having second thoughts, and a second thought could be, I've already spent so much money on this, I can't quit. And now Delaware's saying, well, we can give you a refund. That's great news for vultures like these people.
Whatever it is that they want out of this business, and solely focusing on what they want is when our business, I mean, tripled, you know, over the next 90 days.
I agree with that. And what I'll compare it to is when you
Imagine when we got other people, when we recruited other people and we got them to recruit people, we got so much money. Imagine that. It's almost like that's the way it's designed. Because I'm not hearing you talk about products right now. I'm not hearing you talk about sales quotas and sales tactics. I'm not hearing that because it's not about that. We know, but it's interesting that they're not even talking about it because this guy's a salesman. He's not an MLMer. He's just a, you know, gross, like, I don't think he's a crypto bro. Oh, he probably is.
set out to do this, you take off running. You're going, you get shit coming everywhere at you. And then all of a sudden you go, man, we did well. And then at a certain point you go, okay, wait. We can do really, really well if we sit down, put pen to paper, go over a plan, then implement the plan, see if we can poke holes in that plan, and go do it again after we've done that a couple times. And now look, we're coasting, right?
I love that you said that because so many people want to have the plan before they do the whole
Right.
thing. In the book, The Leadership Challenge, they talk about there was an experiment done where there was 2 groups of individual, same amount of people, like 30 in this group, 30 in this group, and they were in a pottery, like the movie Ghost, where you make pots. One group was told, make as many pots as you can within, I think it was 3 hours or something. Don't quote me on that. And then this other group was like, I want you to make the most perfect pot this world has ever seen within 3 hours. So after 3 hours, which group do you feel made the best pot, the most beautiful pot?
Obviously the one that got to take their time and to do it the right way.
No. The one that tried to make as many as they could because they took action and they failed forward and was like, okay, this is better and better and better. And I've never heard in my life.
I'm going to look that up skeptically.
And
And that's the problem. People before I get started, I need to know this, I need to know that, I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know that. And not just our industry, in anything. And it's like, no, just go. Go. You're going to fail. Find you a mentor. You're still going to fail, even with the mentor, but it's part of your process. And the mentor's going to let you fail on your own sometimes because you need that to grow into a leadership level.
Well, that's a good easy out for you guys. It's okay, just go in, ignorance on fire. Like, just do it. Just do it. But what do I do? Doesn't matter. Just do it. What the fuck do I do? Like, I started in a new workplace at the beginning of this term. I've worked in schools. There's a lot of things that I do need to ask questions. So I ask fucking questions. And guess what? People help me. They tell me the answers to the question. They don't just say, go, just go do it. That's the worst advice I've ever fucking heard.
If somebody's holding your hand the whole entire way, you're never going to grow into your true potential. So it's just crazy how most people won't even take the action because they feel like they need to have all the knowledge, and knowledge sometimes slows us down.
And I think that you're 100% correct. I mean, we talked previously about what is holding people back. Is it lack of knowledge? Is it lack of the encouragement, the belief in yourself? What is it? And I think all of those play a factor, but us in our generation, we want to know what we can do before we actually go and do it or speak to a professional about doing it. That's why reviews have gone up. That's why everything is online. And
I hope people reviewed his fucking podcast and said, your sound is shit, because it is. What happened to your sound just then? Also, yeah, some people do want to know. We need to know what's happening before we do it. Yeah. Imagine that. Somebody who needs to, if you're neurodivergent, like, come on. Yes, you need to know what is happening. Because change is difficult for some people. Like, be more fucking considerate. But also, who likes to be confused? Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, what a pile of shit.
go and check out the Yelps and all this stuff before you actually even go versus buddy said it was cool. Let's go figure it out in case it all. Like, let's make it what it is going to be, you know? But anywho, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely lack of belief in self. And I think that that's something that you just got to figure out on your own. You know, unfortunately, that's not something that anyone else can help you do, is believe more in yourself. You know, for us, I think that's our biggest struggle with what we do is really believing more in other people and what we know that they can achieve rather than them believing in themselves. And that's the hardest thing for us. But, you know, I honestly think that the main thing that prevents people from having success or taking those first few steps is fear.
I agree 100%.
And
sometimes it's paralyzing.
More specifically, yeah, the fear of like the opinions of other people and what are other people going to think of me. That's it 100%.
I think that's huge in our generation, more so than any other generation.
I think so too.
Only because it's so in front of us. We get to see what other people are doing or what they allow us to see or what they're putting out there. And we believe that to be true because it's right here. How can it not be true? Like, look what they're doing right now.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, people are harsh on themselves.
Yeah. And I think, even I went through it in the beginning stages of our business is, you know, what are people going to think of this? It's just one of those things like, you know, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Kenley, I can't believe you would, you know, get yourself involved with one of those things and ruin the credibility that I didn't even have at the time. Yeah. Just so many crazy things. And
they did say that. Yeah, can she not tell a story on her own? Yeah, why do you keep saying, oh, is that one of those things? Why don't you be more specific? Is that one of those scams? Is that a pyramid scheme? What did they say? People in MLM never want to be specific. Okay, so apparently there's this thing called the pot paradox or something. And I have a feeling art and fear, the way art gets made, the reasons it often doesn't get made. So the book is about making art, ordinary art. And then apparently this is a story about it. But it says, I first came across this story years ago in the book Art and Fear. This is a paraphrased version, so I may have gotten some details wrong. I can't even remember if it is fact or fiction. And I like to think of it as a fable. So this could be completely bullshit. At the beginning of the semester, ceramics class is split into two groups. Each one is told they will be graded differently at the end of term. One group will be judged by the quality of one single pot, while the other group will be judged only by the quantity of pots they produce regardless of their quality. Which group produced the best pots? Of course, I wouldn't be asking if the answer was obvious. It was the quantity group that produced the more interesting, technically sound and innovative products. But why? While their quality group made plans and research, the quantity group started churning out their pots. Their skills increased from repetition and perhaps just to entertain themselves, they started experimenting with little changes, trying new things. Over time, these little changes and improvements added up and up and up to amazing results. And the quality group, some of them didn't produce anything by the deadline. Nothing was good enough in the development phase, and seemingly great designs fell apart or exploded in the kiln at the last minute. On average, the pots that did make it to the final grading showed far less skill and creativity than those from the quantity group. Yeah, do 10 minutes of yoga 5 times a week. So they're just saying, as
an art teacher and somebody who does art, even so, it said at the end of the semester, you will be judged on how many pots you can make. You would make more than one pot as the quality people because you would be trying it out. And you would be trying it out in the kiln as well, because I'm telling you now, kilns are unpredictable. You could be like stacking it wrong, things explode, you might have put the wrong glaze. Like they're very finicky machines, okay? Trust me. And getting it right is very difficult. And so there's no way the person who is going to be graded on one single pot will have made one single pot. It's just, it wouldn't happen. They would have also made many pots. Yes, the people who made the many pots would have, like, I can't see that ever happening because art's not like that. If we wanted reproduced like things like that, it wouldn't be art. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it proves this idiot's point. All right, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. God damn it. This is a long fucking video. This is going to be 3 hours long. Good night. She's back. Backstreet's back. All right, we're back to this terrible video. I went to the Korean grocer and I got a couple of desserts to try out. There was this thing that said apple and cinnamon, and I'm like, sign me up. Let me get out of this frame. And then when I opened them, there were many, many little things of this. Isn't it fun? Like, because I haven't lived in a big city, only one other time. Look at it. It's a little perfect. And it just is like so cinnamon and so perfect apple blend. And it's just like it's like a biscuit cookie. We call cookies biscuit in Australia. Okay? All right, let's get going.
Eventually you just you start thinking a little bit differently as you work on personal growth and kind of work on personal development and building yourself up and becoming a better version of yourself. And you realize, like, now today, I will never listen. I'll listen because I'm nice, but I will never take in the opinions of someone who's not where I want to be. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I don't understand. I just did a call just the other day for some of our team, and we talked about this. And I said, you believing in someone else's opinion of what it is that you're doing is basically telling me that the dream board that you have, let's say in your bedroom right now, is literally a picture of that person, their family, their lifestyle, their cars, their home, like where you want to be in 5 years. You have all of their photos on your wall. That's basically what you're saying.
Is it? Because that means for Andreas here, his father was in the army. I would say that they weren't well off because, probably doing okay because of being in the army. So if your parents aren't as successful as you were, don't listen to them. Yeah. If, somebody who's not in your field. So I am not an architect and wouldn't be able to, but do I love the work of Anthony Gaudi? Abso-fucking-lutely. This is such a dumb thing, and I've heard Emma Limmer say it before. Don't listen to advice from people who aren't where you want to be. You just mean don't listen to anyone talk about MLMs. That's it. Like, why don't you be more specific? And they never can be. They never can be specific. Because if you were specific, you would blow it all out of the water. You would be showing the man behind the curtain. Yeah. I just hate that point of view because it doesn't work in so many situations. I don't want to be a principal ever. I don't want that. That's not in my career. Do I respect the opinion of my principal? Yeah, I do.
If that's not the case, then why are we letting the opinions of other people just prevent us from taking those first steps and becoming successful? And it's mind-blowing, but fear, 100%.
I agree with that.
It is mind-blowing that they would listen to somebody who loves them, who doesn't stand to gain anything from them is not going to make any money off them. So you want them, right? You want them to listen to you. That's what this is all about. You want them to listen to you because you want them to want to be where you are, but you also know that they can't be. Absolutely disgusting humans. And they know exactly what they're doing. All right? Yeah, it is fear of losing so many things. And you're about to gaslight them to say, oh, no, if I can do it, you can do it. The oldest fucking trick in the book in MLM. If I can do it, you can do it. Wrong.
We all wake up with two choices, either love or fear. Everything else is attached to those two right there. And in the book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, he talks about a committed heart versus an undecided heart, right? And here's the problem. Most people want to toe dip in anything they do. They're excited. They have a vision in their mind and hope and aspirations of what this business or what this job or what this career can do for them. And then all of a sudden, it's like the minute they hear one negative thing or the minute they let the doubt fear,
and I think I can
clam
help you
up.
with this. The difference is most try things, whereas the very few do things. There's a, I mean, literally, if you
I don't even know if this is worth reacting to because it's so stupid. I can't believe people watch and consume this. I can't believe people think that this is inspirational and that it's good advice and that it's accurate. That's not accurate. Are you fucking kidding me? They shit talked education in this video. How many people shit talk educate teachers? Yes, there are many people who say, teachers, I couldn't do it, or power to you, like, that's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But it is the one profession where you're going to get a lot of people saying the very opposite, straight to your face. Oh, yeah, just doing it for the holidays. No, because I actually work in my holidays, like when the kids are on holidays. I used to work more. I don't as much anymore because I'm experienced and I can do things a bit quicker. When I was younger, no, I worked the whole time. It just was time where the students weren't in front of me. And I'm at a new school at the moment, so I am devising new things. I'm teaching new units. So yes, I will be working these holidays. That's such bullshit. There are so many careers where you cannot just dip your toes in. You will have gone to university for 4 years plus. If you're a surgeon, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you are going to do your master's and your PhD, you are in education for many years. And then you are in the career. Yes, people leave the career, but they don't just go, oh, that's too hard. That's what MLMers do. Do you know what? Because MLM is hard. It is 99% failure rate. MLM statistics. 1% of people make money or break even. 1. And let's have a look at the Amare income disclosure statement. Bet you they don't have one. I can't remember. I got kind of random things in my pocket. Bits of Lego, because I was making stop motion. Well, I was going to make my own stop motion, but the kids were a bit crazy today, so I didn't get to make my own. I made a really good creature. Have I taken a picture of my creature? I haven't, but I will. I'll take a picture and show everybody. The year 7s were doing like an assemblage task where you make a video, make an artwork from recycled items, and they had to make a creature. And we had a workshop with a place called Reverse Garbage, and they do workshops where they sort of, well, it wasn't they're fantastic, but I didn't ask for anything. I should have been more specific with what I asked them to do. They just basically provided resources. The resources were amazing. Well worth it. Okay. Ooh. So, Amare Global Income Disclosure Statement. Fancy that. Currently, the ratio is nearly 5 customers to 1. Could be better. Yep. On average, for all active members, which includes the ranks of brand partner through Presidential Diamond, was $71.47 monthly. $71.47 monthly. Oh, they just dip their toes in? They don't stay in for the ride? Imagine that. Could it be that they can't afford it? The average income for all qualifying members, which includes the ranks of brand partner through to presidential diamond, was $538.61 monthly. Yeah, that's not enough to live on. And I'm sure that the numbers are skewed because of how much presidential diamonds make. Generating, there are members who never generate sales and thus never qualify to earn money. Generating meaningful compensation requires considerable time investment, work effort, commitment, personal skill, and market conditions. What a pile of shit. Amare does not guarantee any compensation or financial success, and the results will vary widely as no two businesses are alike. This is not a get-rich-quick or guaranteed endeavor. Just like building any business, there are many factors that contribute to building a successful Amare business. Yeah. One of them being the business structure. So, brand partner, percentage of members, 86%, earn $25 a month. Brand builders, 2%. $317 a month. These are terrible. Oh my God, these are really bad. Basically, oh man, these numbers don't look like they work. What? 86% plus 2 is 88% plus, you're missing 10% here. That's weird. So commissions earned. So to live, monthly earning added 62 grand. That's actually not a lot either. When is this from? 2023. Okay. Okay, that's a bad Amare Global Income Claims database. Yeah, so these people can fuck off because people don't have the independent wealth to be able to just join and stay in without earning money. Okay? And the people that love them can see that. You don't love them. They're just a paycheck to you.
Walk over to my office, on the glass wall like this, it says there is no try. There's only do or do not do. That's it. That's it. I mean, you can try all day long, but until you get it done, I mean, what else are you doing? You're attempting to get it done. If you're saying you're going to try, you've already lost.
Yeah, you're already planning your way out.
And I say, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't,
Right.
you are right.
Yeah. And that just goes back to me saying, oh, well, I'm trying to stop drinking. No, I don't try. I don't drink
anymore.
It's totally different. So, you absolutely know, like Art Williams says, just do it. Just do it. So back to the traveler's gift. He says that the committed heart will find any way to make it happen. An undecided heart will find any way why they can't make it happen. The why canters, right? And then the why I cans. So that's the problem with the majority of us today, all of us, because we're groomed and we're programmed to have that undecided, uncommitted heart. But basically, if there's ever a vision of what a business or starting your own company can do for you and your family, and you allow fear and doubt and other people's opinions to stop you, you're basically slapping our creator in the face.
That's right.
Because he placed that vision there for you and anything's possible.
Yeah, failure is bad. Fear is comfort.
Absolutely.
It's bass backwards.
Yep.
It's scary just hearing you say that.
Right? It's strange, but it is true. And I love having this conversation because I want people to hear and feel the transparency in what we've gone through. There is no way that you guys got to where you are overnight, as you had mentioned before. So how did that come to be? I mean, we don't have to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I want to kind of get, you utilize social media, you use your network. How did that go? It was I would imagine, a lot of hard work, a lot of phone calls, a lot of no's.
They have a compensation plan that pays them to recruit. That's how they got where they are. Let's see what they say.
A lot of meet with people and them, tell me about that.
Yeah, so first of all, Warren Buffett says your net worth is a direct reflection of your net worth.
Yes.
So little did I realize at 17 years old when I decided to be an idiot and be out every single night doing bad things in different bars and clubs for all the way to about 32 years old.
Gotcha.
I was building a huge network of individuals.
Sure.
Right. And that's how I was able to, build this business and be an overnight success was because of
your network.
It's like that bamboo tree. It was years and years and years of networking without even realizing I was networking. Right. I just needed a vehicle to be able to capitalize in that network. When I say capitalize, just help. Because money is just a direct reflection of you.
It's okay to say capitalize here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I did it. She did it a little differently.
Yeah, I mean,
so did you guys not go on the same path initially? It was like, okay, let me go at it this way, you go at it that way, we'll meet in the middle.
I'm the one that really took this like full force in the beginning.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And he's doing all the talking. It's like he did it, right? Yeah.
because he's the man. He's got to speak. The microphone's not even picking her up sometimes. Like, why bother fucking having her here? This guy's full of shit. Like, full of shit. I bet you he's not very nice. Just a sense that I get about him.
What do you want to say?
So we necessarily didn't have the same path, but we had the same mission, vision, and goals.
Okay.
And Dr. Napoleon Hill talks about in the book Think and Grow Rich that when one person has a vision, it's good. But when two or more people have that same mission, vision, and goals, it creates a third unseen force. It's called the mastermind alliance, right? That's where you create synergy. Like it's effective people having a
Did you know Andreas reads books? It's so cool. I'm so glad he reads books. Okay, we get it. You fucking read books. Like, have a thought for yourself. Then, like, everybody else can read those books. What's your fucking story? He's not adding anything to it, you know? And he keeps hinting, oh, when I was 17, I was going out and doing all these bad things. What are you talking about? Why don't you want to talk about it? Because if you were somebody who's a dual citizen and you had some crimes in your early life, oh, that might reflect badly on you.
It's synergy. So it's like you got one horse, it's 8,000. It can pull 8,000 pounds. Another horse, 8,000 pounds together. They can pull 16. No, they pull 24,000.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Momentum.
When I finally got over my little pouty lip, because when she first started, she didn't toe dip.
Let's
She
talk
was
about the
all
pouty
in.
lip.
And
Let's talk about it.
the minute she got home from work, she was on call after call after call. And this is what it takes. You can't go watch Netflix if you want to be successful.
That's right.
You know, so I was sitting there like, dang. So we're not going to watch our movie. We're not going to go have dinner. And she goes, look, short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. Let's do this for 5-10 years, and then we'd never have to work a day in our life.
That's right.
Can you be on board with that? We could travel the world and do everything. I was like, shoot, let's do it. And the minute I got on board, we were able to do that in 6 months.
I love it.
Yeah, he definitely gave me a little bit of a hard time in the beginning, but he was incredibly supportive.
She was doing her little job. And then when I joined in, we were successful in 6 months. It was all me. This man is taking what you did. You did it. I don't like her. She's awful. But she worked hard to get, like, it's shitty work, recruiting, manipulating, but you work a lot. You work all the time. And it's not fair for him to sort of like steal. It's stolen valor. She did it. You didn't. You get to enjoy it and lead this conversation on a podcast because you're the man. Okay, I'm just going to press play.
And I'm super, super grateful for that. We already had opposite schedules as is. I think I worked Monday through Friday at the time, and you were working weekends, and you had like Tuesday, Wednesday off, or Monday, Tuesday, or something like that. So when we were home, we were constantly together, but we were never together because I was nose deep in my phone. I was on phone calls. I was doing Zoom calls. I was doing all sorts of things. And yeah, just connecting with people, building relationships, maybe even chatting with some people that I haven't spoken to in a long time just to see where they're at and maybe see if this is a good fit for them. Some of them, not so much. Some of them, this was right up their alley. And
Yeah, I was getting in contact with other people because you need to exploit every single relationship you've ever had. Yeah.
they got started. A lot of what I personally did was on social media, though.
Okay.
I think, especially in today's world, especially as millennials, most of everything that we do, business, promoting, marketing, everything is ran and done through social media.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is essentially social media, what we're doing
You're
right
exactly
here, right now,
right.
right?
I was one of the
running
first
podcast.
in 2012 to utilize social media, and anybody can attest to this, to utilize social media to let people know I was in the mortgage industry, which essentially led to a vision that turned into an actual product, and now we have ReviewMyMortgage.com in addition to what we do here, but it
In 2012. I had an Instagram in 2010. There was Facebook. What are you fucking talking about? There were businesses before then, dickhead. Yeah, you're so original. Like these fucking people. I hate them.
was a vision of what do consumers want, what consumer is buying, and how can we give them what they want, and then who's going to pay for it?
Right.
And essentially, we turn the table on Zillow and leverage that with the mortgage lenders for an educational website.
Right.
So
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in month 10 and crushing it. We're now in 15 states nationally on some small concept that we knew could be utilized for something that could maybe change the world. Maybe.
Who are you? Because I've heard of Zillow. I haven't heard of you. Sure. Okay.
Will.
Well, there you go.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but if there's a chance, we're going to make it happen type situation.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to what you were saying is a lot of folks think that it's like a luck thing. In my opinion, you've got to put yourself in the position to be lucky anyway. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week.
These people suck.
But in order to be lucky, I've got to be sitting in that seat at that right time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I'm stuck at home, there's zero opportunities in my way. There's just nothing going to happen. So would you agree when I say millennials, doesn't matter what generation, you want to do something, put yourself out there and just do it. Nobody's going to care.
and be authentically you the entire time.
I agree with that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you absolutely got to flow. Jim Carrey says you can't just sit in a corner and wish for a sandwich and the sandwich shows up. But saying that, we do use vision board.
Yeah.
We visualize constantly throughout the day. We meditate on it.
Sure.
We attach the emotions, the feelings, the senses. How's it going to smell whenever I'm driving that car that I'm,
Yeah.
you know, what's the breeze like in the face whenever I'm walking through that house that I want to build? You know, so you start putting all that. And then the most important thing, excuse me, that most people miss out on is taking the action.
Yeah.
You got to move and then the
Oh, really? You can't just manifest? You can't just wish it? Duh. Really? This guy. You just said, Jim Carrey, you can't just whisper, can I have a sandwich, and a sandwich appears, or whatever the fuck he said. Yeah, that means you have to do like action. Does he think he's really smart and everybody else is dumb? Probably. Upline's hubris. What a pile of shit.
gratitude. You got to give thanks as if it already happened.
Correct.
And you got to be grateful. And this is another thing that I see a lot of people miss the boat on because I was there. All this that I'm saying, I've been there, done that, is not being grateful for the little things, not being grateful for power, not being grateful for heat.
So huge.
How quick are you grateful for heat and
Isn't that
power when
crazy?
that shuts off? And now that's included in my nightly prayers with my family right now.
I mean, I will tell you, I won't name names, nothing like that, but there was a debate on a post that I put out basically saying just that. And I had some individuals that were a little bit, how do I say it? I'm not going to say selfish because they weren't selfish. It was just maybe short-term minded, looking at the situation now versus taking a look back on the bigger picture of, okay, what's really going on and how can we really not be as uncomfortable as possible. But my wife and I ended up buying them generators and sending them to them for the next time that this were to happen. Hopefully, and we don't know if it will or will not change their opinion, but we wanted to at least alter their perception.
Yeah.
We didn't do it because we wanted them to think, oh, they're a bunch of rich people. They're just gonna get, had nothing to do with that. They weren't expensive. It had to, and our message in it was, hey, the next time this ever happens, and God forbid it happens, use this to help the others around you. Why? Because I know you were okay. I know you were fine. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're sitting jamming on your freaking phone back at me during something that's supposed to be life-changing, oh my God, you wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Bottom line. Okay, so moving on.
I love that.
Good for you. That's awesome.
That goes back to us being responsible.
Oh, wow, you're just the biggest heroes. As if that wasn't self-serving. I don't know the situation. Like, I pray for power? What the fuck? They're in Texas. When was this? Maybe, yeah, okay. Do you know what you should pray for? Actually, you don't have to pray. You can elect people who will responsibly use electricity or have alternative sources of electricity. So renewals, things like that. You that's what you could do instead of pray and buy generators. Somehow I don't think you're going to do that though. Yeah.
You know, Stephen
Yeah.
Covey says you are able to respond. Response able.
Yes.
It's not your age when you become responsible adult. It's when you are able to respond to any situation that's out of your control.
That's right.
That still aligns with your mission and goals. I got on a Facebook Live and I titled it, "This is who I blame for the power outage." Right? So everybody was like, "Oh, who are you going to blame?" Blah, blah, blah.
You got a lot of viewers real quick.
And the viewers probably got on and they went, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, because the only person I blamed was me. It's my responsibility to keep my little one and my wife warm and have electricity. So I guarantee you that it'll never happen to me again. I'll never be caught with my pants down again. So imagine power goes off, you're prepared, you have a generator, boom, it goes back on, heat goes back on. Are people going to be mouthing off?
Right.
No. It's
No.
just like business. If people are getting results, they're not going to be mouthing off. It's when they stop getting results because they're stop doing the continuous action that it
Needle
takes.
moving.
I really hope my mic is only muted for one bit. So imagine again the hubris here. I control power. I will be the one who provides the electricity for my wife and child. So it's not the electrical grid, no. And I don't know, it just seems very just arrogant, you know? Just arrogance, pure arrogance. And watching this back a second time, and if I have to do it a third time with
Results.
That's right.
That's whenever they start mouthing off, the system doesn't work. Hey, your scripts you gave me don't work.
Yes.
Hey, this don't work. Hey, no, you don't work.
That's exactly right. Back to the person in the mirror.
Right.
I mean, gosh, full.
And there we have it. No, you didn't work. It always comes down to the victim blaming, and they will always do it at the top because they'll never take accountability for their part in this. And it is them. They've told you every single thing to do. If you follow my instructions, you can have the success that I have. They say that shit. It's not hard. I'll show you how to get set up like I am. You need to do this, this, and this. You do it all, and you don't succeed, and they blame you. Yeah, typical MLM bullshit. And also, it's not his success. I am doubly disgusted by how much he talks and how little she does. But also, the interviewer is really bad at including her in the conversation. So, yeah, love it. Don't we love it when, they blame the person getting scammed for being scammed? Well, if you were smarter, you wouldn't have got scammed by me. Disgusting.
Circle on that one. No, I agree with that 100%. And sorry that I went off on that tangent, but it needed to be said. It was a good opportunity for that and I know you feel the same way. I think that's pretty cool. Right?
So I like the synergy we're having.
I agree.
I think we're vibrating at a good frequency here.
So that being said, I want to dive into something, but I'm not sure how you guys would respond to it. So I'm just going to do it. Everybody knows I'm not an advocate for people to not go to school or anything like that, but I will and proudly say that I do not have a college degree. Did I go to college? Absolutely I did. I spent many years in college, paid for it myself, played college football the first year, learned and met plenty of people, but I did not finish. It's probably the only thing I did not finish in life, but I did it by choice. And I don't regret it. I want to ask you guys' opinion. Do either of you have college degrees? You have a college degree?
I went for 1 semester, 1 year maybe.
Okay.
And it wasn't for me.
So then this is a good discussion right here.
My German grandfather, had a successful business in Germany. And
Scheiße, it's the only one I know.
he grabbed me when I was 16. He goes, move to Germany. I'll teach you the business for 4 years and you can have it. And my dreams were to be a professional baseball player.
Gotcha, yeah.
So that wasn't happening. But he told me, he goes, you don't need to go to school. Stuff like, I'm gonna go to school, college, play baseball. He goes, you don't need to go to college to be successful. Just, start a business, be smart with your money, invest in real estate, gold, and tangible stuff. So that being said, school, no. When we were setting up all of her stuff, the financial advisor wanted to put together this college fund. And I go, okay, well, if she decides she doesn't want to go to college, I don't remember. That's all Japanese to me.
There you go.
And he goes, no, she would only be able to use it for college. I said, I don't want to do that then.
Yeah.
Let me set up something that she could use it for whatever she wants. Because
me a
I
cash
do not
value at some
feel
point.
that you need to go get a college education to be successful. And if you do your research, most self-made millionaires
Would say the same.
Didn't even go to school.
You're right. Wow.
Or if they did, they're not pursuing their degree,
At all.
which is where I stand.
But that being said,
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah, just shit on your wife who has a college degree. Yep, just shit on people who have college degrees. Do you know many lawyers? The person who wanted to set up a college fund for your child probably had a college degree. Doctors that you depend on for your father's cancer had a college degree. Yeah, yep. Sure. Are there people? I already talked about my sister who's very successful without even finishing high school. Yep, they exist. Doesn't mean that education is shit, which is what they're insinuating. There's only so many different ways I can say fuck these people because they are gross and disgusting.
education in school is so important because those uneducated business owners need to hire people with degrees. Don't keep going to school, guys.
No, and what I think I wanted to kind of pivot to was both of you, I mean, equally in this discussion we have, we've brought plenty of intellectual points to the table. We also both have referenced things like books, things like experiences. I can tell you firsthand, the way that I educated myself is I sought it out. I mean, at a certain point, it was...
Yeah, you sort it out. How? Through networking. Yeah, books and experiences. It's not going to get you in every room. Okay? If you want to be a scammer, yeah. If not, maybe not.
Like, okay, that person's really smart. How did they get there? Oh, wait, they wrote a book? Oh, let me go read that. After a while, I was like, I don't like to read, let me listen to these things. But I still got it done. I mean, literally the first book, and I said this in our first episode, it's still true. The first book I ever read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was 22 years old. First book, cover to cover. All of the educational books, all of that stuff, not a Goosebumps book, not any of that stuff. That book, matter of fact, I read it twice, and it was like game-changing. I understood everything that they were talking about because I was semi-living it.
He didn't even read any like young fiction. Not even a Goosebumps book. Could you read? Wow. That's depressing. I just can't believe. And then the book that he read is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Ah, it's really it's you know, I've been feeling really like positive, things anti-MLMs cooking along. We're really, getting targets out there and getting the word out, and then it's just so disappointing to hear all these people who are successful in earning money, They earn money, lots of money. And they're just the most awful, shallow, stupid people. like who don't really deserve it. And there's people out there who are salt of the earth and, stuck in the poverty cycle, or they have been, somebody's, been prejudiced against them or whatever. And it's like, it's just not fair. Life is not fair. There you go. We came all this way to say life is not fair. It really isn't. Like, the worst people in the world have the most money, to be honest.
But also curious at the same time, if that makes sense.
So that's crazy you say that, because actually I read one book my whole life, all the way up until 34 years old, or 32 years old when we started this growth journey. And it was the story in the life of Jackie Robinson. Now, mind you, I was pretty smart in school because I knew how to remember and repeat very well. I was in AP courses English, and I still never read any of the books, and I passed because I was just cliff notes and paying attention. Anyways, so the minute I decided to read books, guess what happened? I don't read because I fall asleep.
Do you reckon you had ADHD? Or is that a big pharma conspiracy? Really? That's so funny because John Milton told this similar story where he cheated his way through school and his mother did his assignments, right? And now I'm hearing this from this guy. Isn't that funny? How these sorts of people seem to have shortcuts and cheats, life cheats. And they end up in MLM somehow. Interesting. They're just, I've already said it.
Have to listen.
I'm right there with you.
I
We were
turn
both
my
ADD.
vehicle into a mobile, learning station.
Sure.
I still listen to some music every now and then, but a lot of that stuff is just the wrong kind of programming that I want for my life and my reality. So I just listen to books, and I went from reading that one book to now.
Audiobooks is reading, I don't care, but the wrong programming. That's interesting language. Listening to music would be the wrong programming. What were you listening to? That's what I'd like to know. But still, the person who's the number one recruiter, number one distributor in Amare is Kenley Mendoza. The woman sitting beside you is the top person in Amare. I might time out when I go back and edit this. Oh, it'll be hard to work it out. Oh, because I've sped it up. But I'll do a roundabout estimate of how long she talks compared to how long he talks, or the men talk. Because, like I said, I'm no fan of her. Fuck her MAGA shit. But it's her success. It's really gross that they're just talking around it and not including her. It's bad hosting by not interrupting this fucking idiot and saying, what do you think about that, Kenley? What would you say about this? Kenley, why don't you tell us a little bit about the books you've read? Or how did you get to this? No, I'll just talk to the man.
I have a stack of books, and my income is a direct reflection
Of that,
Because
absolutely.
it's taking the knowledge of all these men.
This man, what? Your income is a reflection of how many books you've fucking read? Librarians might fucking agree to disagree. What a fucking idiot. Oh my God, this man. I think, he's detestable. He's so terrible. There's nothing more that could nothing else he could say would make me think that he's not a fucking idiot or more of a fucking idiot. And then he says something else. I'm like, this man sucks. Damn.
All these other individuals that have already been there, done that with the t-shirt, and already had the experiences. And the more you read, you start to realize that it's all just a few principles. They all have the same few principles. And the first book that I read that changed my life was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
There you go. Okay.
Which you could get on YouTube for free. Right. You listen to 30 minutes a day, you'll finish it in 22 days. Right. Well, that's 30 minutes a day to change your life.
But I think people are scared. It's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Yeah.
And the information is out there. However,
It's fear. Maybe they just don't want to read a shitty book. A business book. It's not going to change my fucking life. I ain't reading it. Are you kidding? It's fear. No, it's a lack of interest or a lack of need. Like, what a pile of shit.
consume that information. But here's something I want to ask. Did you find that when you were reading those books, because just like you, once I read one, it was like, okay, I'm hungry, I want some more, and I'm getting used to this reading thing. Did you find yourself having to read things over and over a couple of times?
Maybe he has a learning disability. Getting used to this reading thing, really. I was pretty used to it when I was like 7, 8. Don't know. I'll have to ask my parents, but I was pretty. Yeah, I'm getting used to this. Getting used to this thing. I sit and watching the thing. Yeah. Do you find that you have to read it many times to get more out of it? Really? Maybe you're not very smart, because I think that some people just need to read things once or a couple of times, but like, I used to read Harry Potter before I went to bed. But fuck J.K. Rowling. She's a transphobe and we hate her. The royal we, all of us, okay?
Not for understanding purposes, just for more so, well, I guess maybe understanding, but more so it's sticking, if that makes sense.
Let me see if I understand your question. Do you mean like rereading the same book or just rereading the information?
The information.
So if I'm reading, yes, absolutely,
Okay.
I have to. But when I listen, I
I'm
don't have
good.
to do that.
Likewise.
I'm able to absorb it and soak it in and understand it, because I also pause and I write notes.
Right.
Pause and I write notes.
Here's a pro tip for those that are AD.
I thought he was going to say, ask Kenley a question, and he didn't. Here's a pro tip for those that are ADD that you don't believe in. Let's hear it.
The ADHD, instead of reading books, listen to them. And here's an additional caveat to that, or piggyback, or parlay, whatever you want to call it. Speed it up to like 1.25, something like that, so that you have nothing else to do but pay attention to what they're saying, or else you're going to miss it. And that's how people like us consume and actually have things that stick.
But I thought that you weren't ADD or ADHD. I thought that was like a big pharma thing, because you said at the beginning of this fucking podcast that when you're like, there's that skull, you get called ADD. So you're not ADD, you are. People like us. Yeah, that's good advice. Pro tip that fucking everybody knows. Like, this guy's going to claim he invented podcasts soon.
100%. Are you saying?
I was going to show you my speed
The
on Audible.
1.25?
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it was probably maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago that somebody told me that, and I was like, what? You're crazy. I did it, and it was like, oh man, I am paying attention to this all the way. So anywho.
And it's because I don't like to spend 8 hours reading.
That too. Time is very, very important. So, I mean, we've talked about a lot here, guys. Where do you guys want to go from here? What do you want to talk?
Kenley definitely has not talked a lot in this. You've barely spoken to her, and you've allowed her husband to just control the conversation. And all he can do is talk about fucking books.
Talk about. We can keep going. Let's see here. So some of the passions that we wanted to talk about with you guys was time and financial freedom. I would go as far as to say the path and the journey that you guys took is what now gives you the time that you want and the financial freedom that you deserve, in my opinion. When people say, gosh, you lived a life. No, I live the life that I work for. Okay, so don't take it for granted, or don't get me wrong, or don't get it twisted. I work my tail off, and I'm not where I want to be in life at the end of it. I want to be able to live a legacy. I want to be able to do the things that the people you hear about now that change the world. Is it possible? I'm crazy enough to think that it is.
Is this podcast your legacy? Okay, so after the revolution that occurs in the US, sorry guys, hope you make it out. I'll be here. Look, it's going to affect us as well. All right. Australia always rides the coattails of the US. So after the revolution, when we've got AOC and Zoran Mandani in as president and co-presidents, can we organize a bill that bans any sort of mic, USB, USB-C, any sort of mic from men? No male podcast. Sorry about it. Male presenting people. Sorry, trans men. Collateral damage. Okay, trans men. It's for the common good. Just believe us, okay? Or just, have a podcast. Say, right. Wink, 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 wink. Well, we won't look too far into that one. Okay, but no more men. God, can you imagine if because they always say, oh, men will pretend to be trans to go into women's bathrooms. And then after the revolution, they pretend to be trans to start a podcast. All right, I'm going to get out of my stupid fantasy world now where we end up with the socialist revolution in America. It's not happening, Tish. And AOC is still a little bit sus, okay? She's still a little bit too liberal.
She's not a leftist, even though some people think she is. Like, she's not a socialist. She's left-leaning, okay? Anyway, let's hear from these men again.
And I think you guys are on the same playing field or the same mindset with that. So I want to go into mindset. We've talked about fears, we've talked about hesitations, we've talked about failing, but mindset is what, in my opinion, gets us going, right?
It'll make you or break you.
So tell me about that.
It's, you know, it's honestly like putting myself out there. It's something that I am continuously having to work harder at. He and I work really, really well together as far as our business goes, and really I think in all aspects of life, because he's the one who commits more so to like personal growth and development and reading and listening, something I should do more of, versus I'm the person that's like, I'm the shark, I'm the eagle, I'm like, let's go, 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 we got this going on today, we gotta take action, we gotta do these calls, this call, and if I ever have something that I need help with, to maybe there's like a situation throughout an organization that needs to be resolved, or there's a conflict or something, I'm like, hey babe, you got that? Because I got a call I gotta take, I don't got time.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of
It really sounds like you're doing all of the work and the hardest work. Really sounds like that. Sounds like you could probably do this without him. Texas might bring in no-fault divorces, but sis, you're driving this, and he's a passenger, basically.
how we feed off of each other so well. But I mean, mindset is everything. I mean, really, like how you feel when you wake up in the morning is really going to just set out your entire day.
I agree.
It's, you know, understanding that those little hoops and hurdles that you hit throughout the day, not letting that literally just ruin your entire day, you know, and just understanding that it really just starts right up here.
Yeah.
It starts right up
and
here.
I like the analogy that I use quite often. It's like taking a shower, taking a bath. I mean, hopefully you do it
Something you gotta
every
do every
day. And I tell folks, I 100%, I don't care, and who knows how long I'll need to do it, but every morning I listen to a very similar or the same playlist. I watch the same motivational videos, and yes, it's repetition, but at the same time, it's that same message that it's just a constant reminder of, hey, stay focused. This is why you're doing it. If you need a little push, here it is type situation. Do you guys have a routine or a ritual that keeps you focused in the right mindset, right attitude, so to speak?
Every single morning, I mean, we do at least like 15 to 30 minutes of personal development every morning, whether it's listening to a book, whether it's just watching a video. The thing is everything's out there for you already, and it's free too.
Ooh, how romantic. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Let's go do our personal development. Okay, sit silently in a room reading a book. He doesn't read, though. He listens to audiobooks. So it wouldn't be a silent one. It'd be like a listening thing. Yeah, okay. Sounds like such fun.
Most of everything that I personally do in the morning is just found on YouTube.
Okay.
You know, he does more of like the Audible and the books and things like that. We have a system within our organization and team to where we, every single morning, Monday through Friday, we provide that personal growth and development, 15 to 30 minutes every single morning. And just participating on that is just a great start, you know, to the day. And I would recommend, you know, there's little things as far as even just a morning routine that are going to help you have a better day and get you in that right mindset, which is not checking your phone first thing in the morning.
Agreed.
And focusing on you first thing in the morning and doing some self-love activities. And, you know, we even have like affirmations that we literally have tacked in 4 different places all around our house.
Very spontaneous. So fun. So fun. You have, if you're in Kenley's team, you've got an everyday thing that you have to do. Doesn't really sound like your own business when you say it like that. Hey.
You know, talking, you've got it like memorized like a champ. Every time he takes a shower, he's literally shouting this out to the rooftops.
I love it.
All these affirmations.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's how you wake up in the morning.
Agree.
More than anything, and that's when it needs to be done.
So, and the reason why I ask that is you both, I view as leaders, you have a team under you that you're constantly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you're constantly having to also remind and kind of set on the right path and give a.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like they have their own business, pal. You've got a team underneath you. Yeah, that's right. They're not business owners. They are team leaders, and except that without that team, they don't make money. So yeah, they do have to motivate that team, and the team doesn't get the money. They do.
Nudge back to where they're supposed to be and set the expectations and also set the goals and the vision for where we're going. And then you coach through motivation and leading the way and preaching the way. I mean, what's that like?
It's fun.
That was super
No, it's super fun because you said it. Basically what we do is, yeah, there's a business, but that's just the cherry on top.
Right.
We are a personal growth development program. And that's why I started talking about this earlier, but
You're two humans. We are a personal growth program. No, you're not. You are two human people, like adult humans. They like those because these guys are transphobic. Yeah. You're humans. I don't know why I have to be the one to tell you that, but you're humans. Wow. Just thinking about that phrasing. How much control
do you think that he thinks he has over these people? A lot, right? And he likes that. That's what it's about for him. Because you can see in this, Kenley's the star here. She's the top rep, not him. Interesting things. Interesting.
Most people that join, if they leave, they leave better than when they came.
It makes perfect
For
sense.
people that actually like paid
Sure.
attention, actually gave it a shot, right?
Everything comes with an asterisk. Oh, they leave better than they came, but only if they gave it a shot and blah, 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 blah. Very many people leave worse financially because in MLMs, only 99% of people succeed. Only 1% of people succeed. 99% of people fail. You gonna mention that, Mr. Businessman host? You want to look at statistics. You want to be a business. He's not an MLM person. Why wouldn't you be challenging them with that figure? You just want to be in their good graces, I suppose. And maybe they paid him also. That's just a guess. I don't know.
And then they become successful at their job or career, or they start their own business. I don't know how many people that left our team, now they're business owners.
That makes
Because
sense.
we, not us personally, I don't take any credit for anything. It's all them.
Right.
But we provided a culture. And when
This is you taking credit for it. That's you. You just took credit for it before, saying we leave them better. You can't say, it's like saying, fuck you, but like, not fuck you. Like I don't really I don't think, I think you should get fucked, but I'm not saying that. That's basically what he's saying. Oh my God.
system to where they can become a better version of them every single day. Even if it's just 1%.
Absolutely.
1% every single day, 365 days
And you said it. I mean,
That's
providing the culture
365%.
that then lays that foundation with the needle moving activities that are supposed to be done in order to get to whatever your goal is. And your goal can be $1 million, it can be $5, whatever your goal is, you're going to get there if you follow this path. Here's the equation, go apply it. We'll show you how here and there, but at the end of the day, it's back on that person in the mirror, right?
Yep. And you know what's mind blowing? I was 34 years old before I wrote down one single goal in my life.
Wow.
34 years old.
Wow.
I used to think, like, why do I need to write it down?
Yeah.
I know what I want. But it's like magic. You write it down, you gotta repeat it, you gotta say it over and over again.
I thought you were a sports person. He said he wanted to be a professional baseball player. There's no way that he would have done any, high performing sports without goal setting. Like, what's my personal best? Yeah, maybe you didn't write it down. Like, that's weird. But also, it's like magic. Is it though? This guy, like, for real. He's something else. Also, what did you do to get successful, Kenley? Just a suggestion for a question for her.
And make it one of your passwords.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, that you use 20,000 times a day.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get embedded in your subconscious mind. This is how powerful it is. When we first met, it was the year 2014, and my goal board was sitting right there on my bed, and I would read them out loud. I would visualize in the morning, and I would do the same thing at night before I go to bed. And there was one goal in there, and it said by January of 2015, we will have X amount of money. And it was an even number.
Sure.
Saved up for a down payment on a house.
Okay.
And there was other goals like marry the love of my life. I'll go to the Caribbean for a honeymoon, stuff like that. So January comes of 2015.
Sure.
I had $1,200 in my bank account. Not anywhere near
Right.
the amount that I had for my goal. But what I had was faith.
Yeah.
I believed. I was like, it's going to happen.
You believed in yourself.
It's absolutely going to happen. How I thought it was going to happen was completely different from how it happened. That's what you got to remember. How you think, don't get attached to how you think it's going to happen. Just stay focused on the goal. At the same time, don't get so focused on the goal that you don't fall in love with the process, because the process we can change. Because if you have a goal and you don't hit it, a lot of people get out of the box.
Well, I'd go as far as to say that I've opened many businesses and not a single one ended the way we started out. I mean, it's kind of like people, if you want to be better, you're going to have to change.
Yep.
A lot. And it's like little things up to the big things, up to who you are. And a lot of people will say, man, you've changed. I mean, that's what we want to do, right? So yeah, that's a lot of good information. It's a lot of nuggets that people that are listening can hear that and go, wow, that's layman enough that I can actually apply that. We're not talking over people's heads. You don't need to. You've got all these financial advisors and these economists that are talking over your head, and wonder why they're discouraged. Talk to me like a human being.
So getting back to that, the middle of January, we get a phone call from a family member, and not $1 off to the exact amount that I believe with all my heart I was going to be able to create in my reality to have a down payment on a house we were gifted.
That's awesome.
How amazing is that?
That's awesome.
Isn't it crazy?
So
That's
goals,
awesome. Wow.
writing down your goals and seeing them over and over again and
Wow.
visualizing. And
Wow, imagine that. You got a gift from somebody that was the exact amount of a down payment for a house. Imagine that. Wow. I think they said, oh, it wasn't luck. We work really hard. That's luck. Come on. How often does that happen for people? Well, yeah, it was your manifesting.
Attaching the senses to them and giving thanks that you already received them
And taking action
action.
towards
Move,
them
just
is
move.
so important.
Just move. Just go out and move. Energy flows.
Absolutely.
You might go to Starbucks and run into the individual that's going to help you build your dream business.
No, we're not going to Starbucks because we're boycotting, divesting, and I never remember what the S is about. But we're not going to Starbucks. Okay, thank you.
Or whatever it is.
That's right.
So, and that's where people, the secret, the book, The Secret.
Sure.
Go take action. Everything's great, but go take action.
Everything happens while you're taking action.
Correct.
And time and time again, you see so many people, especially all across social media, just spreading negativity and, oh, I hate this and I hate that and I hate my job and oh my God.
Spreading negativity on social media, like being transphobic and cheering on Russia or supporting Israel or I don't know, supporting deportation, supporting Trump. Yeah, it sure does suck when people are negative on social media, Kenley.
It's Monday. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till Friday. TGIF. So many people are just preaching and wanting so badly and talking about they want different results and they want a change. But they're not moving. They're not changing. They're not getting outside of their comfort zone. They're staying right where they're comfortable.
Right.
They're not willing to do anything different, yet expecting different results, which, is the definition of insanity. And yeah, mindset's tough though. That's nothing that you can train or teach anyone.
No, and I agree with that.
I'm sorry, what? Mindset's tough? You can't teach people mindset? Your husband just said we teach mindset. So, interesting. You can't teach it? Right.
Is it something that can be developed? Absolutely. Is it something that's innate? I think in some people it is innate. Some people wake up and they're just badass. It is what it is. What motivates you? Me. Okay, great. Let's keep on going. I'm gonna grab your coattails. Let's go. But I think that definitely is something that the folks listening needed to hear. This is a pretty good one, and I wanted to make sure, was there anything else that you guys want to address while you have this time? I know you want to kind of keep the business on the DL and do what you do, and I appreciate that, and I definitely respect that.
Why would they want to do that? Why wouldn't they mention the business they're in, the name of it, how to join, et cetera, et cetera? Why would you do that? Because you want them to reach out to you. Let's see if they said, if you're interested in being, finding out what we do and how we do it, just find us on social media. Now, why wouldn't you just say you're with Amare? The company we're with is Amare. We sell health and wellness products. This is what they are. No, you want them to go to your social media and find it, don't you? We'll see.
Because you are successful at what you do. I've seen it. I know it. You're here preaching it and walking the walk instead of just talking the talk. And that means a lot, especially to someone like myself who it's tough to relate to people my age. I'll be honest with you. It's hard for me to have a good intellectual conversation with folks my age.
Not this man. Not this man saying he can't have intellectual conversations with people his age. You read a book for the first time at 22. What intellectual conversations are you having? Come on.
This time is valuable. If that conversation isn't going to add any kind of benefit or value to me, I'll be honest, I'm out. You got me for like 2 minutes, and then after that, okay, I'm out. Sorry. That doesn't mean that I'm rude about it or anything like that, but if I'm trying to be here, I need to continue on that path.
Right.
And anything that's pulling on my time, I've already done a good job of learning how to delegate, automate, or eliminate from my processes.
Which is tough.
Absolutely. It's very tough. It's tough even knowing when to do those kinds of things. But this book here, Taking the Stairs and Procrastinating on Purpose, if you haven't read them, read them. They're pretty good books. But yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to address?
I just want to piggyback off mindset for everybody listening. That's where it starts. I don't care what knowledge you have and what industry that you have. If you don't have the proper mindset, if you don't have a positive mental attitude daily, and you keep that by personal growth and personal development, negative thoughts are going to come in, negative things are going to happen. How you react is going to determine, to those situations is going to determine if you can keep a positive mindset or not. But if you can stay positive and your mindset is bulletproof, everything you ever want is going to come to you. It might not happen tomorrow, but just keep believing and keep focused, because even where you're at right now, again, it might not be where you want to be, but it's just a stepping stone to get you where you're going. If you have the right mindset, all the doors continue to open. You just have to be in a good vibration, a positive vibration to see those doors. Because if you're in a negative vibration, you're not going to see those doors.
That's right. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I will leave with this. If you are seeking, and you had mentioned this, if you're seeking the answer or the path of how you get to a goal and where you want to be, don't ask the people around you. Ask the people that have been there. I promise you, they are open and willing to share this information, guaranteed.
Yes.
And they won't sugarcoat it for you either. I would go as to say everybody that I've had on the show thus far is more than happy to share their trials and tribulations and how they got to where they are, because it wasn't easy. It's
Right.
like, I want somebody else to feel this type situation. But again, guys, great show. I appreciate you guys taking the time, especially with the little one. And I hope she had a great time.
She did.
Yeah, good. But for the viewers out there, if you like this content, if you have gotten something out of the content that you believe may help you at some point in time in your life, start implementing it. Do that, and also give us a like and a share, maybe some feedback, review, something like that. But again, thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our guests Andres and Kenley for joining us today. You guys make today count. Thanks.
We've been through so much to finish that. I hated that. I hate that guy. Rate Mark Jones. Rate my mortgage. Has anyone heard of it? I certainly haven't. Glad that Kenley got a bit of a last word there and said thanks. Hope the little one had a good time. She did. That was just fucking terrible. My God. I did not expect it to be so bad, because I had only seen Kenley. I had only seen her, and she's awful. Absolutely awful with her MAGA shit. Transphobic, all the rest of it. Loves Trump. Anyone who loves Trump, automatic fucking just woeful person. And then Andreas had to talk the entire time, even though she's the successful one. All right. I'm going to end it there. Thank God. Like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I really suffered for this one. Feel tired. Feel despondent. Like, never be happy again. But there's always Labubu. There's always Labubu. I'll see you next time, everybody. Goodbye.